to you by Smith's for 83 years, the largest specialist in men's and boys' wear in the West. By Union 76, where you find the things your car thrives on. When you're looking for someone to look after you, look up to 76. By Italian Swiss Colony, makers of award-winning California wines for nearly a century. And by Central Valley National Bank, 32 offices in Northern and Central California to serve you. The Chiefs and the Raiders just trotting onto the field prior to player introductions. The Chiefs have won the toss of the coin, electing to receive. The Raiders will defend the south goal to our right, seemingly with a win factor in their favor in the opening period, but that, as I said, remains a little doubtful because of the swirling nature of a recently arising brisk wind here at the Coliseum. Del Courtney and the Raider Band are assembled at the center of the field, waiting where they will shortly play as accompaniment to Mel Torme, who will sing the national anthem. We'll have the opening kickoff shortly, but first this word.
Hey, Darryl Lamobile. Who do you look up to when you can't seem to get the offense moving?
Well, I look up to the spotters. They can see everything that's happening on the field. They can tell me what's not working and what adjustments I should make to correct it.
Hey, Darryl LaMonica, who do you look up to for help when your car's not working right?
That's when I look up to 76. They know what's happening. They not only spot the trouble fast, but they get it fixed in a hurry.
When you're looking for someone to look after you, look up to 76. For product and service that you want to do, look up to 76.
Look up to 76 when you're looking for more than just good gasoline. It's the place to find those road-proven Minuteman tires and powerful 76 batteries. It's the place to find someone to look after you.
When you're looking for someone to look after you, look up to 76.
We will introduce for you the starting offensive lineup of the Kansas City Chiefs and the Raiders defensive unit. For Kansas City at left end, the split end position, Frank Pitts, 6'2", 200, his fifth year. He caught 31 passes this year. Jim Tyrer, 9-year campaigner, all-league player, 270, 6'6", the left tackle. The left guard, a 7-year veteran, Ed Buddy, 6'5", 260. E.J. Holub, the 9-year AFL campaigner, at 6'4", 236 at center. Mo Mormon, in only his second year, but a superbly fine guard at right guard, 6'5", 252. Dave Hill, a 7-year vet, right tackle, 6'5", 260. And the very rugged Fred Arbanas, 6'3", 245 in his 8th year at tight end. Lenny Dawson, in his 13th professional season, will guide the offense, having completed 59% of his passes this year. Mike Garrett, the former Heisman Trophy winner from SC, now in his 4th year, 5'9", 190 pounds, 732 rushing yards this season, and the leading pass catcher in the club will operate at running back along with fullback Robert Holmes, the low-slung, tough little runner, 5'9", 220, only his second year out of Southern University. He gained 612 yards this year. And the wide receiver in the backfield is Otis Taylor, the rugged and fleet-footed 6'3", 215-pound, 5-year veteran who, though missing 3 games, caught 41 passes. The Raiders' defensive alignment, Ike Lassiter at left end, 270, 6'5", 8th year. Carlton Oates, left tackle, 6'3", 260, 5th year. Tom Keating, 5th year, 6'2", 247 at right tackle. And Ben Davidson in his 9th season at 6'7", 275 at right end, completes the front 4 alignment. The linebackers will feature Chip Oliver, the mobile second-year man from SC at 220 on the left side. Dan Connors, defensive quarterback, 6'1", 230, the middle linebacker in his 6th season. Gus Addo having his best campaign in 5 professional years at right linebacker, 6'2", 220. The left corner in the secondary, Nehemiah Wilson, a 5-year veteran, slim at 6 feet and 160. The right corner, all-league Willie Brown in his 7th year at 190, rugged, 6 feet 1 inches tall. George Atkinson, who can fly with the football when he gets it. His second year is at the strong safety, 6 feet 180. And Dave Grayson, the interception leader of all-time performers with 47 career interceptions. The Raiders interception leader with 8 this year in his 9th season will be the free safety, 5'10", 185. Oakland International Airport nearby reports as of half hour ago the temperature 51 degrees, expected to be about 53 by game time, which is now. 10-mile-an-hour wind out of the northeast, humidity 50%. the color guard of the Marine Corps, being played to the center of the field, and very shortly, Mel Torme with Del Courtney and the Raider Band will be giving us their rendition of the national anthem, after which the Raiders will kick off to the Kansas City Chiefs. Mel Torme and the Raider Band, conducted by Del Courtney, with the national anthem here at the Coliseum in Oakland. The officials today, the referee, Jack Best. Paul Krapinski is the umpire. Bob Barr, the field judge. Cal Lepore, the head linesman. Hugh Gamber, the back judge. Aaron Wade, the line judge. And Scotty Sterling, as the 10-year life of the American Football League ticks away to end approximately 3 hours from now, the prospects certainly are brilliant for a fitting climax.
Bill, I don't think we could have two clubs who deserve to be in this game more than these two. Of course, the Chiefs, owned by Lamar Hunt, who founded the league, and the Oakland Raiders, the last club franchise for that initial 1960 season, went through a lot of trials and tribulations in the last 7 years. The Raiders have won their prominence in the national football picture, and of course, I think whatever club wins today will be a fine representative in that Super Bowl against Minnesota next week.
Kansas City's return man will be the two fullbacks, Wendell Hayes, the backup man, and Robert Holmes, the starting fullback. Rugged ball carriers who are usually very sure-handed in holding onto that ball. Eyeshide with a 40-yard line just to our right, the south 40. The south goal line to his back. Mike Eyeshide moves up to kick off, and the AFL championship game is underway. Going to be taken by Holmes on the right side of the 5, up to the 10, heads for midfield, the 15, gets running room at the 20, 25, and heads forward. He's down at the 30-yard line. Robert Holmes hit on the play by Howie Williams. First and 10 now, Kansas City. Dawson the quarterback, Garrett and Holmes the running back. Taylor and Pitts the wide receivers, Arbanis the tight end. These Chiefs are capable of great deception and different formations. They might run the same play, but they make it look different. For example, at one time they split their guard and tackle, and they slotted Taylor inside them. Here's a slot formation to the right. Pitts inside Taylor. They do not line up in the tight end eye and then shift out of it this time. Man in motion to the left, going wide is Garrett. The handoff to Holmes. Flag flawed. He gets nothing over the Raider right side. Trying to spread that secondary, they sent Garrett in motion to the left with the flanker and the slot back being out on the right. The Raiders' right side stopped the line thrust by Holmes, and it appears that Kansas City was guilty of illegal procedure. The penalty declined by the Raiders since the Chiefs gained only inches on the play. Second down, about 9+. Chiefs in red helmets, red pants, white jerseys with red numerals. Raiders in their home uniforms of black jerseys, silver pants, silver helmets, silver numerals. Out to the right comes Taylor. Garrett slots to the left inside Pitts very wide. Back to pass as Dawson drills one to Taylor. He's got it at the 44 where he's hit immediately by the cornerback in coverage, Nehemiah Wilson. Taylor running a slant-in pattern from the wide receiving position to the right, and it gets the Chiefs a first down in their second play of the day. The ball on their own 44-yard line, moving from our left to our right. The lights are on here at the Coliseum. Not that they're needed or doing any good now, but late in the day they might. Now a tight end eye, and they run right out of it. The handoff goes to Holmes, who ran straight over the middle. He's driven back after getting to the 47. That's where he'll get progress, I believe. Keating, along with Gus Otto and Dan Connors. They give him progress to the 47-yard line. A gain of 4, second down, and 7. Don't forget, if this game ends after 4 quarters in a tie, it's a sudden death overtime. That's what I meant by the fact that those lights could be useful later in the day. Dawson brings them out of the standing huddle. Holub over the ball at center. Pitts to the left, wide. Taylor to the right. 2 backs, both behind Dawson. Strong left. 4-man front. Dawson drops back, fakes a flare pass to the left. Now he throws a screen to the right, and it's out of bounds and incomplete. And Ike Lassiter, or check it, Carlton Oates almost got Dawson as he backpedaled. He was throwing for Garrett, ready to run behind a couple of blockers out to the right. So it'll be 3rd down and 7. Too much of a good thing is a bad thing, like too much charge in your battery, but Union 76 batteries resist overcharge 300% better than ordinary batteries. For a longer-lasting battery, look up to 76. First big third down play of the day, Scotty.
Bill, the Raiders want to put that kind of pressure on Lenny Dawson. If he throws quickly like he did on his first completion, it could be a problem. So they have to put maximum pressure on him. 3rd down play now. It should come at this point.
Taylor in the slot to the left. Wide man is Pitts on that side. Wilson goes over to cover him. Man in motion to the right. Garrett back straight. Goes Dawson to pass. He's got time. He's throwing very deep for Pitts. No, Taylor can't hold it. It was Taylor who couldn't hold it. That's the 10-yard line. Covered by Willie Brown. Well, there are no doubts in anybody's mind now that Dawson has come to throw today if he feels the situation demands it, and he had Taylor with a half a step on Willie, but he couldn't hold it.
Bill, I think it was predictable that they would throw the ball a little more, but I want to make one point. In the last 4 games against Oakland, the Chiefs have suffered 15 interceptions, 4 of them going back for Oakland touchdowns. So I think the passing, although he'll do more, will still be at a minimum.
The league's leading punter, Gerald Wilson, is in to punt. The 47-yard line, the line of scrimmage. Back deep is George Atkinson. Shallow is Rod Sherman. The kick is going to bounce on the 12, and it almost digs the divot and rolls dead on the 12.5-yard line. Atkinson did not field it, feeling it was going to bounce to the end zone, but it bounded straight up and died on the 12. So that is a punt of 41 yards from the line of scrimmage. Time is out on the field. 12:48 to go, first quarter. Scoreboard showing Raiders nothing, Kansas City nothing. Well, there are hundreds of makes and models of cars this year, but the money is of one type, tight. So this might be the right year to lease instead of buy your new car. That's why so many automobile dealers in Northern California are offering leasing plans through Senval Leasing, the leasing division of Central Valley National Bank. A leasing plan is just another way of financing a new car, a way with many special advantages. You can afford a larger or better equipped car through leasing. There are tax advantages. You need less of that tight money when you lease, and Senval Leasing helps you use these special advantages. Most important, a Senval lease is a bank lease, and people prefer it for the same reasons they prefer bank financing. So talk to your authorized Senval auto dealer about a Senval lease, or inquire at any of the 32 offices of Central Valley National Bank. You may call Senval Leasing direct at 835-4172. That's 835-4172.
Bill, the man in motion that Kansas City is using is done to force the safety so he can't help the corner as on that long pass.
Rod Sherman wide to the left, Bolitnikoff to the right. Dixon and Charlie Smith in the backfield. A handoff by LaMonica to Charlie Smith outside left tackle. He goes all the way up to the 21-yard line. Or Emmett Thomas, the right cornerback, stops him. Smith getting good blocking that time. The Raiders with an offense of Sherman and Bolitnikoff wide receivers, Cannon the tight end, Smith and Dixon the running backs behind LaMonica, Swias and Shue the tackle, Gene Upshaw and Jim Harvey the guards, and Jim Otto at center. Here's Sherman to the left, covered by Emmett Thomas. Out to the right, Bolitnikoff, covered by the fine rookie, Jim Marsalis. Smith again, cuts upfield. He gets to the 24-yard line, a first down, where the left linebacker, Bobby Bell, stops him. Running between his own left guard and left tackle, and then cutting upfield. Assistance on the play by Buck Buchanan. The Kansas City defense, the great front four of Jerry Mays, 250 at left end. Curly Culp, 265, left tackle. Buck Buchanan, 275 at right tackle. And Aaron Brown, 265 at right end. The rest of them in a moment. Ball on the Raider 25. LaMonica gets to Smith, sends him wide behind a block by Upshaw. But Smith trips over Upshaw after he throws the block at the 27-yard line. Jim Lynch, the linebacker, as he was blocked, also cut the legs from under Upshaw, and his obstacle was too much for Smith to get over. They say he landed at the 26 for a gain of only 1 at his 2nd and 9. Bobby Bell, 228 in his 7th year, the left linebacker. Very rugged. Willie Lanier, middle linebacker, 245. Jim Lynch, right linebacker, 235. Marsalis, the rookie, is the left corner. Emmett Thomas, the right corner. Jim Kearney, the strong safety, and the great Johnny Robinson, free safety. To the left now is Sherman. To the right, Bolitnikoff. LaMonica drops back to pass. He has time. He throws. Complete out to the left is Charlie Smith, stepping out of bounds at the 32-yard line on an out pattern. It is short of the first down. Lanier was coming over in coverage as Smith came out of the backfield. Today's game being brought to you by Central Valley National Bank, where you can lease your new car. Ball in the 32.5. It'll be third down and 2.5 for the Raiders. LaMonica with an important decision here. Dawson on his first third down situation had third and about 7, went for the bomb. To the right goes Bolitnikov. Slotted on that side is Sherman. Out to the left comes the tight end Cannon. Back goes LaMonica. He's looking for the throw. He fires complete over the middle of Charlie Smith on a hook pattern. It's a first down as he's hit immediately at the 39-yard line by the right linebacker, Jim Lynch. Charlie Smith, who caught 30 passes in the regular season, coming out on a hook pattern that time and was wide open. He was the short receiver. The others were running deep patterns. First down, Raiders. Ball on the 39-yard line of the Chiefs. Sherman to the left, Bolitnikov to the right. Thomas covering Sherman, Bolitnikov being covered by Marsalis. Power sweep to the right, Charlie Smith looking for a block from Harvey. Can't turn the corner at the 40, finally gets to the 41, where Lanier hits him, and he may have made a half a yard, maybe a yard and a half. We'll see where they give it to him. Jerry Mays kept the play from turning the corner. They put it on the 41.5. It's a gain of 2, second down and 8.
Bill Oakland is getting his offensive lineman out in front of the sweep very, very well, which I think indicates that they might do quite well with that play today. This is the thing against Kansas City. They generally try and knock those first wave of blockers down.
Slot back to the slot formation of the left. A quick snap and a handoff to Dixon. Turning line to the left at the 45, up to the 49, and he's hit by Lanier and Bobby Bell. First down Raiders, from all appearances, by about a foot, but we'll wait. Dixon that time without blocking, running wide to the left as they line up in a slot formation to the left and went on a quick count. Larry Todd has come on for Charlie Smith at the running back spot. They're going to measure, and the measurement shows the Raiders make the first down by the length of the football.
Bill, with Todd in the football game, I just might make a guess here. Oakland into the double wing where Todd is the primary pass catcher, as we saw in the Houston game. Perhaps not right away, but I think we'll see it.
Here's Sherman to the left, Thomas to cover, Bolitnikov to the right, covered by Marsalis. LaMonica turns, hands to Todd, who stutter steps, goes over right guard. He's hit there by Kearney across the 50, though, on the Kansas City 48, a gain of 2. Todd, a little bit Mike Garrett-like that time, looking for his hole before he found it, and then shooting forward for a couple. Second down and 8 for the Raiders for the first time with the football in Kansas City territory this afternoon. No score, 9 minutes and 35 seconds left in the first quarter. And we hope Jake O'Leary enjoys this afternoon of football on KNAW. Why aren't you up here, Jake, you and that crazy skiing? Slot formation to the right with Cannon split out to the left. Hand off to Dixon. Dixon hits over right tackle. Bullets down to the 45. He might have pushed a little further before Bobby Bell, left linebacker, stopped him. See where they spotted just inside the 45. It is third down and 4. Third and 4 for LaMonica and the Raiders. Raider huddle, broken. Now as they come out to the left, Bolitnikov is wide. Sherman in the slot to that side. Cannon goes to the right, splitting out. Kearney goes over to cover him. LaMonica drops back to pass now. Here comes the rush up the middle. He throws out in the flat to Dixon, and he can't hold it. Dixon out in the left flat, waiting for it. Grabbed at it and actually started to run before he had the football as LaMonica laid it off to him. I don't think he would have had much running room. With the ball on the 44.5-yard line, Blanda and the field goal team come in. And I can't really tell you how the wind will affect here because it seems to be swirling the flags in different places of the field in different ways. Warren McVeigh, the fleet-footed speedster, is back in single safety under the crossbar. LaMonica will hold 52 yards away. Blanda kicks. It will not get there. It's accurate, and it's taken on the goal line by McVeigh, but he had his foot in the end zone, and it's a touchback, and will come out to the 20-yard line. Time is out on the field. 8 minutes, 37 seconds to go in the first quarter. The scoreboard showing the Raiders nothing and the Chiefs nothing. Well, not too long ago, the winemakers of Italian Swiss Colony had a ridiculous idea. Add the flavors of tropical fruit to a fine, light California wine. 5 luscious flavors: lemon, orange, pineapple, guava, and passion fruit. And that's exactly what they did. They called their new tropical wine punch Valley High. Well, it turned out their ridiculous idea was ridiculously delicious and ridiculously popular. Today, all over America, Italian Swiss Colony Valley High is enjoyed by people who love wine and by people who never cared for wine. So whichever group you belong to, be sure to try the wine with the flavor of the tropics, Valley High. V-A-L-I-H-A-I, Valley High. A grape wine and natural pure flavors from Italian Swiss Colony, Asti, California. You just can't miss with Italian Swiss. Italian Swiss Colony wine. Blenda had accuracy on that boot, but it was approximately 5 yards short. Scotty, could you detect what the wind factor was on the kick? I really couldn't.
I don't think it had an effect on it. I don't think George really got into that kick too well, Bill. He seemed to pull up just a little bit short with his follow-through. I just don't think he got his full weight into the thing.
Chiefs line up in a tight end eye. Now they shift, sending Pitts to the left, Taylor to the right. Urbanus, the tight end, is on the right side. Garrett and Holmes behind Dawson. Audible call by Dawson. A handoff to Holmes sends him wide to the left. Grayson cuts him down at the 20-yard line. Free safety Dave Grayson, coming up with Ben Davidson, made the tackle. Ben just strung the play out, and Davidson made the stop. So it's 2nd down and 10. No score. First quarter, the winner meets Minnesota a week from today. Way down yonder in New Orleans. That's a great song title. I wonder if I could think of some lyrics to it. Here's Pitts to the right, slotted inside Taylor now. Urbanus, the tight end, is on the left. Chiefs with a long count. Now an audible call, and Garrett starts to move and then steps back. Rather uncertain. Handoff to Holmes. Powers over right guard, and backpedaling gets up to the 24-yard line. Holmes runs with great authority, and with a low center of gravity, he's hard to bring down. On the bottom of the stack, Carlton Oates for the Raiders, along with Ben Davidson. 3rd down and 7. Second time today that Dawson has been faced with that situation. Deeper this time. The previous time it was on his own 47-yard line. Enjoy the California wine that's light in the Italian style. Italian Swiss Colony Chianti, the perfect dinner companion. Pitts goes to the left, Brown to cover, and they have Garrett right out there, slotted almost next to Pitts. Out to the right is Taylor. Rolling out to the right is Dawson. He looks, he throws, incomplete. He was throwing for Garrett, running an up-and-in pattern up to the 40-yard line. He overthrew him considerably, but he was so well covered, I believe, that actually Lenny unloaded the ball. Scotty, what do they try to achieve in putting Garrett, the slot back, so close within about 3 yards of the wide receiver?
Well, I think, Bill, they're looking for a pick, perhaps. If they can get 2 Oakland defenders over there, you know what a basketball pick is. It happens in football. It's not really legal, but I think that's one advantage that tight formation gives them.
Wilson in to punt. Line of scrimmage just past his own 23. Atkinson deep on the Raider 35. Sherman up on the Raider 43. Low snap. Ball is punted well, however, by Wilson. Atkinson takes it on his own 37. Runs between 2 men. He's hit from the side, squirms loose, and then is down on the 44-yard line. He was hit first by Willie Mitchell, squirted away, but George Daney on the special team stopped him. Raiders take over on their 44, 1st and 10. Timeout on the field, 6:59 left first quarter. The scoreboard showing Raiders nothing, Kansas City nothing.
Folks, it's here. Smith's January store-wide sale. Ben Davidson here to tell you that when my little buddy Mr. Smith has a sale, he has a whopper. It's big, all right. You can choose from thousands of the most popular suits and enjoy big savings. And remember, they're good-looking, all wool worsteds and shark skins and new colors, new patterns. Regular $79.95 suits now $54.99. Save a neat $25. Regular $95 two-pants suits now $74.99, and no charge for normal alterations. Save $20 and get the extra mileage of 2 pairs of pants. Come to Smith's big store-wide January sale for the season's most popular suits, now priced for only $54.99. And don't forget those 2 pants suits, now only $74.99. Best selections now at all 18 Smiths. Use Bank Americard, use MasterCharge, use Smith's Charge Account. Use your head. Get there fast.
Raiders offensive unit in a scoreless first quarter, the ball of the Oakland 44. Sherman comes to the left, Bolitnikov to the right. Thomas covering Sherman, Marsalis on Bolitnikov. Hand off to Larry Todd, who doesn't make much as he tries to cut outside left tackle. He's hit by Curly Culp after Lynch made the first contact. He landed at the 45, and it's a gain of a foot, maybe a foot and a half. Second down and virtually 10. Todd comes out, Smith comes in as the Raider running back. Charlie Smith caught 2 passes in the first Raider drive that progressed to the 44-yard line of Kansas City before a field goal attempt from 52 yards by Blanda was short. To the left, Smith. Now the double wing formation. Sherman out to the right along with Bolitnikov. Back goes LaMonica to pass. He looks, he throws, incomplete. Running a post pattern down on the 35-yard line of Kansas City, and in good receiving position was Sherman. Emmett Thomas was not covering him very well, and LaMonica overthrew.
Darrell threw off balance that time, Bill. There was a little heat coming to him up the middle, and he kind of arched his back. I don't think he got the full swing into it, but Sherman certainly was open to receive the football, and it might tell us something about what Oakland's going to try and do out of that wing formation.
See Billy Cannon coming out of there at tight end now, and Drew Bowie is in, so he has outside speed to burn. And it's a double wing with Bowie on one side. Here's the snap back now. LaMonica dropping back. He's hit, and he is down. Curly Culp throws him at the 34-yard line. Jerry Mays assisting as LaMonica on third down and long had 4 wide receivers out in that double wing formation, but the push was tough up the middle. And the Chiefs have said all week, Scotty, that if they're going to force LaMonica to throw quicker, it has to be by putting that rush on up the middle.
Bill, and that double wing formation, of course, is designed for deep patterns where the quarterback has to take time. And Darrell was looking there, and he paid the price.
Mike Eyeshide into punt. Line of scrimmage, Raider 35. The punt is a beautiful spiral. Garrett and Mitchell are back. Garrett takes it on the 12. He fumbles. He flops on it at the 10-yard line with the Raiders bearing down on him. A beautiful punt by Mike Eyeshide. 53 yards from the line of scrimmage. Eyeshide punted for a 49-yard per kick average in the last big ball game for the Raider club against Kansas City on December 13th. All right, Dawson in to run the Kansas City attack from his own 10. Field position is vital in a ball game like today with a Stenerud and a Blanda on hand. Chiefs line up in the tight end eye. Usually they shift, but not always. Now they do shift into a full house T formation backfield. The handoff here goes to Garrett. And wait a minute, I think Dawson kept it as they had a broken play. Dawson did keep it as Garrett faked into the line nicely. And Dawson just was smothered right at the line of scrimmage. They shifted into a full house backfield with all 3 backs right behind Lenny Dawson. As Garrett comes out and Holmes is in now, Holmes and Hayes are the running backs.
Well, I think Garrett's having a few problems. On the last series, he was in a wrong position in his set, and that time he just failed to take the football.
Tight end eye. Now they shift. Sends Gloucester Richardson to the left. He's in for Pitts. Otis Taylor to the right. 2 backs behind Dawson. Holmes and Hayes. Long count. Handoff given to Holmes. Power sweep to the right. Gets the block, and then he is hit hard. And he fumble from the 10. The ball bounces back inside the 5. There's a great pile-up. Let's see what the ruling is going to be. Holmes was hit and fumbled. Nehemiah Wilson made the tackle. The play had been called dead on the 11-yard line. The Raiders were piling in as one of the Chiefs flopped on it. I think it was Dawson. And so it's third down and 9.5 to go. Wilson made an excellent move defensively that time. On the left side, Oliver was cleaned out by the blockers. Wilson came up to make a head-on stop of Holmes. Chiefs third down now. They send Holmes out to the left in the slot with a wide receiver Richardson. To the right comes Taylor. Only Hayes behind Dawson. Dawson backpedals into the pocket, back to the goal line. He sets up. He's throwing deep. Incomplete. A Upfield intended for Otis Taylor. Well covered by Wilson. But Taylor's tough to handle even if you're right with him because he's so big. It was overthrown. Fourth down, and Gerald Wilson comes in with a punting team for the Chiefs.
Bill, I would say this after we're almost through this quarter. The Chiefs seem to be just a little bit uptight. They've had some fumbles, some misplays in their backfield. If Oakland can take advantage of this tightness now and get on the scoreboard, it'd be a tremendous advantage for them.
Line of scrimmage, the 11. Atkinson waiting just about the 50. Back in the end zone is Wilson to punt. Over 44 yards per punt during the regular season. He gets it away. A booming spiral. It's a beauty. Going way back is Atkinson. It hits on the 30. He can't feel it. It bounds backward upfield to about the 33, and it is down at that point by George Daney. Call it the 34-yard line, where the Raiders put it in play. A beautiful punt that time by Gerald Wilson. Right now, we'll pause for station identification. This is KNEW Radio, the official voice of the Oakland Raiders.
This is Jack Hayes, early evening radio star. Weekdays 6 till 10 on KNEW, Metro Media Radio 91, Oakland, San Francisco.
Wilson's punt was 55 yards, and so we have a punting duel between Wilson and Eyeshine that's very impressive here in the early going. Don't forget, Raider fans, get the greatest selection of Levi's Sportsters at any of the 18 Smith stores in Northern California. Darryl LaMonica standing behind the Raider huddle right now, going through a couple of loosening up motions with his right arm. The throwing statistics show LaMonica hitting 2 out of 4, Dawson 1 of 5. Dawson has gone for the big one a couple of times now. Charlie Smith caught the 2 Raider passes, and Taylor caught the one completed by Dawson. Rod Sherman to the left, Fred Biletnikoff to the right. Thomas covering Sherman, Marsalis on Biletnikoff. Handoff goes to Dixon. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, tries to get yardage. Jerry Mays flings him down with Buck Buchanan flopping on top. Mays penetrated well enough that time to hit Dixon just as he got the handoff, and he got a yard and had to work hard for it. Second down and 9. The 21 games played in the 10 years between these two clubs, the Raiders won 11, the Chiefs have won 10. Again, Sherman left, Biletnikoff right on second. LaMonica back to pass. He fires one, complete to Charlie Smith, who's filled it out of bounds immediately by Lynch on the 42, shy of the first down by 1.5 yards. The third catch of the day by Smith. He's been on the receiving end of all of LaMonica's completions, running an out pattern, flaring out of the backfield. On the 42, they put it down. It's 3rd and 2. Giamotto over the ball at center. Swias, Upshaw, Harvey, and Shue, his mates on the interior line. Cannon comes to the left about 4 yards. Slot formation to the right. Sherman inside Biletnikoff. Back goes Darryl to throw. He throws over the middle. He's got Charlie Smith. He fakes Lynch, but he can't get away from him. He's dropped at the 46, but he has the first down. Lynch made the tackle with assistance from Jim Kearney as Charlie caught it on a hook pattern, gave him a left-right, left fake, but Lynch didn't go for it. 4 completions by LaMonica in 6 tosses, all 4 to Charlie Smith. Chiefs wait the Raiders as they come to the line of scrimmage. Here's Cannon to the left. Sherman slots to the right inside Biletnikoff. Split backs. LaMonica back to pass. And a beautiful fake and a handoff as Curly Culp stops here at Dixon after a gain of about 1 yard. He faked me as he dropped back, and only at the last second did I realize that he had handed to Dixon on the draw, and it made very little. Warren Wells comes on for the first time today. Sherman comes out. Wells, pro football's #1 receiver from the standpoint of touchdown passes, 14 in 1969. Ball on the Raider 47, 2nd 9.5. Wells to the left. Emmett Thomas will cover. Biletnikoff to the right. Marsalis to cover. Thomas is up very tight on Wells. LaMonica dropping back to pass. Here's the rush. He looks, he throws. Cannon makes a diving catch and goes out of bounds on the 43-yard line of Kansas City. touchdown, Raiders. Wells running deep, clearing out the area. Cannon crossed under him near the left sideline with Kearney in coverage, and he made a diving catch. Billy's 21 receptions was his tally on catches for the regular season. Here are the Raiders coming to the line of scrimmage again. Their deepest penetration of the day by a matter of a yard. Wells to the right, slotted inside Biletnikoff. Thomas goes over to cover Wells. They split off Cannon to the left. LaMonica back to pass. He's throwing deep for Biletnikoff. He is not able to get it on the 10. Running with him was Marcellus, the cornerback, as Fred seemed to have his stride broken by some contact as they were bumping each other inside the 15-yard line. LaMonica threw it pretty much on the button, but Biletnikoff was distracted.
It's a beautiful throw by LaMonica, Bill, and Fred did seem to slip over there. Now, I don't know whether there was contact with the defensive back or this field has a tendency at that end, and I'm talking about the north end, to be a little bit slippery, particularly on the outside where it's not chewed up too much, and it can be a problem at times.
Veteran Ed Lothamer is in for Curly Culp at left tackle of the front four as well. Slots right again inside Biletnikoff, and once again they have a man wide left. It's Sherman who's in for Cannon. They look. LaMonica throws to Sherman. He takes it and steps out of bounds on the 29. Steps is not the word. Kearney hit him. Sherman had come in on that play for Billy Cannon, as the Raiders at times are bringing a wide receiver in to play the tight end and give him that fleet-footedness downfield. The ball in the 28.5. The engines in the cars of today are too tough for a lot of motor oils, but none is too tough for Union 76's new Super Motor Oil. Tougher than it has to be because it was built to be looked up to. Cannon is back in at tight end, and Wells comes left. Biletnikoff goes right. LaMonica a quick snap, gets to Smith. Can't find a hole, and he's hit high around the neck by Aaron Brown and then scooted under it for a yard or so to about the 27. He couldn't get clear under Brown's high tackle. Culp back in and Lothamer out in the front four. Incidentally, the Raiders activated rookie Art Toms as a bit of defensive insurance for their front four today, and deactivated George Beeler from the offensive backup core. Slotting right is Wells inside Biletnikoff. Cannon splits off 3 yards to the left. 2nd and 9. Back is LaMonica looking, throwing for Wells. He's got him on the 9, the 5. He is driven out of bounds on the 3-yard line. 1st and goal to go, Raiders. As the wide man, Biletnikoff, ran a deep pattern into the end zone, the slot back, Wells, ran a corner down around the 5-yard line. Actually, between the 10 and the 5, and with Emmett Thomas covering, Wells still grabbed it, went out of bounds, driven out on the 3. 1st and goal for the Raiders. Wells slots to the right inside Biletnikoff. Cannon, the tight end, is lined up tight on the left. LaMonica gives it here to Charlie Smith, and he goes over. Raider touchdown. Blocking that time as Charlie Smith slanted off left tackle, and not a hand was laid on him from 3 yards out. The Raiders are on the board, 6-0. We're in the final minute of the first quarter here. Blanda in to convert. LaMonica will hold. It is spotted. It is kicked. It is good. Blanda during the regular season reached 154 consecutive points after touchdown, a new AFL record. And now, time is out in the field. 36 seconds left in the first quarter. 26 yards for that score. Holmes and Hayes wait for Mike Eischide's kickoff, and it's going to be a bouncer. It is taken by a lineman, Hill, who shovels it back to Hayes, coming upfield from the 30 to the 35 and headlong to the 37, where he's stopped by Eischied and Marv Hubbard. It was a kind of a slithering kick that landed in the hands of Dave Hill, the tackle. Up around the 23-yard line, he turned and shovel passed it backward to Hayes, who had momentum coming upfield. Big play on that drive. One of the big ones certainly was Wells' catch of 23 yards, Sherman's of 15, and Cannon's of 10. All right, slotting left is Garrett inside Pitts, and he's well out there. And now the referee steps in. He's going to change footballs. Pitts is well out to the left, and Garrett out within about 2 yards of him with Taylor to the right, and they're going to huddle back again, and Dawson will make a new play selection. And there's the gun sounding the end of the first quarter of play as they look at the scoreboard shows. The Oakland Raiders 7 and the Kansas City Chiefs nothing. Probably at a higher level than at any time this year.
Bill, what he's getting is what the Oakland Raiders hope to get against an opponent, and that is forcing single coverage on all of the receivers. And, of course, with that wide formation, and then bringing in the speed guys, Sherman in at one point for Cannon, and Rod made a big catch, and Drew Bowie in at another point in place of Billy Cannon. It just puts tremendous pressure on that secondary. And Wells, of course, runs his pattern so beautifully on his big catch. He cut that thing, and he was just gliding, and LaMonica had him spotted the whole way. It's very difficult with that speed coming at you if you're in a secondary and you're forced into single coverage. And if he can keep that up all day and continues to throw, he's throwing very crisply, I think, then Oakland's offense should be all right. He's mixing enough running, too, to keep those big defensive linemen at home a little bit and to cut down on their ferocious rush.
All right, the Chiefs will be moving from our right to our left. The ball on their own 36-yard line. Taylor goes right. Out to the left comes Pitts with Garrett right with him. Backpedaling is Dawson into the pocket. He steps up. He is smothered and down on the 28-yard line. It was John Davidson who got him, closely followed by the middle linebacker, Dan Connors. So for the first time today, Dawson bites the dust. And each defensive unit has one in its grab bag of stopping that quarterback for a loss when he tries to throw that football. Second down, and it'll be almost 18. This quarter being brought to you by the 32 Northern and Central California offices of Central Valley National Bank. The Chiefs and the Raiders for the American Football League Championship. The ball on the 28. Here's Pitts to the left. Garrett right along with him in a very wide slot. Now a quick throw by Dawson, incomplete. He threw right between Pitts and Garrett. Incidentally, it's interesting to note, Scotty, that when Garrett comes out as a wide slot, very near the wide receiver, that Grayson, the free safety, is over there in coverage.
Well, I think this is a real good matchup. Garrett, although he's a tremendous back and has fine moves, doesn't have blazing speed, and David, of the four people in the Oakland secondary, is probably the slowest. He's faster than Garrett, however, and more closer to his size, really. They're both short. Grayson about 5'10", and Mike Garrett perhaps an inch taller. It's a good physical matchup, and one that I think is to Oakland's advantage.
Third and long here. Slotting left is Garrett inside Pitts, Taylor to the right. Back is Dawson. He pumps once, pumps twice, now throws. It is incomplete, as there was a nearly sure interception by Atkinson, but he tried to run too fast. Atkinson came knifing through as they threw to Taylor up around the 45. The ball was high. He got a piece of it, but it popped up in the air. Two Raiders dived for it, but couldn't get it. However, it's fourth down, and the Raiders can claim the Chiefs. Dawson had Tom Keating wrapped around his leg as he cut loose. He had stepped up in the pocket twice and bumped before he could find it.
They're fired up, that defensive unit. They're pressing Dawson. So far, they've destroyed the timing of Kansas City. And now on punt formation, Wilson will punt with George Atkinson deep and Rod Sherman close. Oakland leading 7-0. We just started the second quarter. A high, wobbly kick with a good Kansas City bounce. And it's going to be out of bounds on the Oakland
22-yard line. Time is out on the field. And with 14 minutes, 21 seconds to go in the second quarter, the scoreboard shows the Raiders 7 and Kansas City nothing. 3 miles isn't much. Kansas City has come up 4 times on third down plays and has not made the yardage on any occasion. The Raiders have come up 4 times also, and they've made it twice. Sherman slots inside Bolitnikov now. Wells is not in the ball game. Back to LaMonica gives the ball here to Dixon, sends him wide to the left, and he sweeps wide to the 30-yard line. He was hit by Johnny Robinson coming over on the play. Dixon was the only man on the backfield behind LaMonica as they had Charlie Smith out as a wing back to the left. Lanier helped Robinson on the play, and it's close enough they're going to measure and bring the chains clear in from the west to the east side of the field where that football is.
Bill, one of the keys the Oakland Raiders felt about this game was that Ewart Dixon had to give him a top performance. If you can get that kind of a game out of Ewart, and Smith obviously having a fine game, not only running but catching the ball, with Dixon complementing that, it puts, again, great pressure on that Kansas City defense. That was a sweep, a fullback sweep. Ewart has that kind of speed, and a few more like that, and they won't know who to key back there.
The Raiders are short by about a foot and a half. The ball on their own 32. They're moving from our left to our right. They lead 7-0 in the first minute of the second quarter. Sherman slots to the right inside Bolitnikov. The tight end Cannon is on the left side. Smith is with Dixon in the backfield. LaMonica, play action fake, drops back to pass, pumps once, then throws, and it is incomplete. He was throwing at the left sideline to the tight end Cannon, well covered by Kearney, who leaped to get a hand on the football as both he and Billy went out of bounds. Kearney, the strong safety.
Bill, I think LaMonica had a bit of a problem with that background over there. They've got a wide white stripe in front of each bench. And, of course, the Chiefs are over there with white socks and wearing red jackets, and I don't think LaMonica saw the defender that time. It was almost an interception, but I think he lost him against that background.
Sherman goes left, Thomas to cover, Bolitnikov to the right, Marsalis in coverage. LaMonica gives it here to Charlie Smith, sends him up the middle as a flag flies, and Smith makes... it looked like possibly the first down, but very close. Bobby Bell cracked him hard. It was a third and still foot-and-a-half situation. And the Raiders may be hit with a big penalty here for holding. If so, it'll be the first penalty of the day that has been accepted. There was one earlier on Kansas City for illegal procedure, which was declined when the Raiders had held them to no gain on that particular play. Defensive captain Johnny Robinson over to talk with Hank Stram, the coach of the Chiefs, and also one of the linebackers, Jim Lynch, goes over. Some discussion now between LaMonica and the officials. And there's a certain amount of uncertainty on the field at the moment. For the first time today, the crowd is in a rather quiet state. Quite a bit of debating going on. Mays is over there. And Jim Otto talking to the referee, Jack Vest. And finally, they're going to march off that holding. Well, now, wait a minute. First, before any decision is made, they're going to measure.
Kansas City might, Bill, if they didn't make the first down, they might refuse a penalty.
Very likely. And I don't believe they made it. They didn't. Charlie gained nothing, might have even lost a foot. And the Chiefs decline the penalty, and they'll take this punting situation. You know, there's only one rosé wine at about $1 made with the famous Grenache grape for France. Italian Swiss colony Grenache Val Rosé. You try it. So the Raiders have made good on 2 of 5 third down efforts. Back goes Garrett along with Willie Mitchell, a reserve defensive back. They'll wait on the 25. Eyeshide to punt for the Raiders. The line of scrimmage, their own 32. The ball is snapped. He has time, and he gets away a low spiral. It's going to bounce. Hits on the 32. Bounce downfield to the 20. A good Raider bounce. Mitchell lets it go. He has to, and it's killed on the 15-yard line. Coming down was Drew Bowie with Hubbard and Howie Williams to surround that football. And the Chiefs will start from deep in their own territory once again. It'll be Dawson at quarterback. Pitts and Taylor the wide receivers. Arbanis the tight end. The tackles, Jim Tyrer and Dave Hill. Ed Buddy and Mo Mormon the guards. E.J. Hollop the center. The running backs will check. First quarter quick statistics showed the Raiders 38 yards rushing to 7 for Kansas City. 63 passing to 13 for Kansas City. Now double tight ends, only Taylor is wide. He's out to the right. The handoff here goes to Robert Holmes, who powers his way straight ahead. pushing a knot of Raider tacklers ahead of him to the 21-yard line. Ben Davidson was the first to grasp him, but had to have plenty of help to drag him down. Little powerhouse runner. Garrett is in the backfield with Holmes. So the Raiders had total offense of 101 yards to Kansas City's 20 in the opening period. Lamonica successful on 7 of 11 tries thus far. Dawson on 1 of 7. Double tight ends on a check it. It's a tight end eye. Now they shift into a full house T formation backfield with double tight ends. Long count by Dawson. He turns. He rolls out to the right. Maybe a broken play, and Lassiter smears him at the 22-yard line. It was second and only about 3.5 to go. It appeared to be a broken play, Scotty. I'm sure that he's not going to run a quarterback sweep without blocking.
Not only that, Bill, he has a problem with his knee, you know. I think this is probably a new set that they put in, and someone, quite possibly Garrett, is missing the calls.
That's the second time today. He made a half yard, and it's third and about 2. Big play for Kansas City. Dawson with the Chiefs in their standing huddle. He faces the line of scrimmage. They face him with their backs to the line of scrimmage. 7-0 Raiders. 11:45 left, second quarter. Now they slot a man to the right. That's Fitz inside Taylor. Whistle, flag, too much time. And the Chiefs a little bit uncertain right now. Dawson took a very long time in the huddle and even more time at the line of scrimmage. Dave Grayson in the Raiders secondary was alert to the fact that time was being extended, and he mentioned something, the official who looked at his time and called it almost immediately, and it's third down now and 7. The ball in the Kansas City 17. This will change the strategy in Dawson's mind almost surely as to what he has to do. He sends Pitts to the left, slots Taylor inside. Brown will cover Taylor, and out is Wilson to cover Pitts. I formation. Man in motion to the right, Garrett. Dawson drops back to pass. He sets up. A flag falls. He throws. Batted up in the air and incomplete. He threw short over the line to the tight end Arbanis, who was double covered right there in the zone by both Connors and Oliver. The ball was batted up in the air off Arbanis and fell harmlessly to the turf. The Chiefs were the guilty ones on the flag. They were holding, but the Raiders declined, and for the fifth time today, Kansas City has failed to make the third down play.
Bill, Coach Madden, in preparing for this game, stressed the importance of Oakland winning the physical matchups, man against man, and to this point they're doing it. There was no receiver open that time, and there was big pressure on Dawson.
Gerald Wilson to punt, the line of scrimmage, the Kansas City 17-yard line. Atkinson back on the Raider 40. Wilson gets a punt away. It's a low spiral away from Atkinson to the left. He comes over along with Sherman, and they're not going to be able to field it as a Kansas City man, Willie Mitchell, flying right after the punt, knocked it out of bounds on the Raider 33-yard line. A 50-yard punt for Wilson, who's getting off some good efforts. Timeout on the field. 11:27 left in the second quarter. The scoreboard showing the Raiders 7, Kansas City nothing. Not too long ago, the winemakers of Italian Swiss Colony had a ridiculous idea. Add the flavors of tropical fruit to a fine, light California wine. 5 luscious flavors, to be exact: lemon, orange, pineapple, guava, and passion fruit. And that's exactly what they did. They called the new tropical wine punch Bali High. And it turned out their ridiculous idea was ridiculously delicious and ridiculously popular. Today, all over America, Italian Swiss Colony Bali High is enjoyed by people who love wine and by people who never cared for wine, for that matter. So whichever group you belong to, be sure to try the wine with the flavor of the tropics, Bali High. That's B-A-L-I-H-A-I, Bali High. Grape wine and natural pure flavors from Italian Swiss Colony, Asti, California. You just can't miss with Italian Swiss. Italian Swiss Colony wine. Raiders offense moving from our left to our right as we describe the play for you. The ball on their own 33. Rod Sherman goes to the left in the slot with Bolitnikoff wide. Marsalis comes over to cover Fred. Thomas is on Sherman. Winging to the right is Charlie Smith. LaMonica back to pass. Throws a big one upfield for Sherman. He can't get it. At the 30-yard line of the Chiefs, Sherman was running a deep post pattern, well covered by Emmett Thomas, and Robinson, the free safety, was coming over fast from the opposite side.
Bill Wells is into the ball game now, and I wouldn't be surprised to see LaMonica perhaps go to the same pattern. He forced the secondary to run. 2 men all the way down the field with Sherman. They're just a little bit tired, blowing just a trifle, and Wells, fresh, he may go back to that.
Cannon goes way wide to the left as a wide receiver, and to the right comes Wells in the slot. Inside Biletnikoff. Split backs. Back is LaMonica to pass. He looks. He swings one out to the left to Charlie Smith. Stutter step. Cuts inside Lynch. Upfield to the 37. Knocked down at the 39. A screen that time. He didn't have real good blocking wall in front of him. Buchanan caught him along with Lynch, who slowed him up. But Smith made a nice cut behind Lynch and avoided being tackled head on. It'll be 3rd and about 4. Sherman comes in. And Cannon comes out. So Sherman as a tight end, of course, has that wide receiving speed. And now Kansas City brings a 5th defensive back. No, check it. They're bringing Mitchell in for Kearney. He has better speed than Kearney, who's normally the strong safety. And Mitchell will be covering, very likely, Rod Sherman. Back goes LaMonica. He looks. He throws one out to the right, intended for Dixon and overthrown. Lanier covering him. Upfield at about the 45-yard line. Dixon slanting out of the backfield. And so the Chiefs hold on defense on the Raiders' 3rd down play, forcing Eyeshide of the punting team to come on here. 10:27 to go in the second quarter. Raiders leading it 7-0 on a drive of 76 yards, with Smith taking it in from 3 yards out off tackle. Garrett is back along with Mitchell. Snap to Eyeshide. The punt is away. It's a high, hanging, floating spiral. Garrett's going to field it on his 18. Runs to the left, up to the 20, gets to the 23. He is buried there at the 23-yard line. 44 yards on the punt by Mike Eyeshide as the stop was made by Dwayne Benson, assisted by Chip Oliver. Chiefs ball 1st and 10. And just a note for our big Raider fans that even Ben Davidson can find good-looking Levi's at any of the 18 Smith stores in Northern California. 24-yard line of the Kansas City Chiefs, moving from our right to our left. Dawson has Garrett in the backfield along with Holmes. They line up in the tight end eye with Taylor wide to the right. They might go right. No, they don't. They shift. Split backs. Pitts comes to the left. Connors hollers a defensive audible out. Dawson gives the ball now to Holmes, sweeping wide, and he's tripped up by Nehemiah Wilson, who hit him at the 24. Holmes flew headlong on up to about the 26. Wilson cut in from very wide behind the blockers, sweeping to the right. Dan Connors made a very obvious audible call to his defense that time, Scotty, and it'll be quite a duel between him and Dawson throughout this afternoon. 2nd down and 8. Chiefs come up in that tight end eye. Nobody wide. They go on the quick snap. Back is Dawson to pass. The rush is on. He steps up. He throws. He's got a completion to Arbanis, the tight end, who's hit at the 35-yard line immediately by Atkinson. A 1st down by the margin of a yard or so. First time they've gone to Arbanis today. During the regular season, he caught 16, and he averaged 16 yards per catch. Arbanis is a guy that used to go to even a little bit more than they did this year. Big at 6'3", 245. Chiefs get a 1st down. It was a 2nd down situation at the time. That's 2 out of 9 for Dawson. LaMonica has completed 8 of 14. Slot formation to the right. Pitch inside Taylor. Man in motion to the left is Garrett. The handoff here to Holmes. Holmes is really cracked back. Hit at the line of scrimmage and thrown back 3 yards. He'll get progress, of course, to the line of scrimmage, and that was where Ben Davidson hit him, ably assisted by Dan Connors. We'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is KNEW Radio. the official voice of the Oakland Raiders.
This is Rick Cimino inviting every Raider fan to discover the winning sound of great music every morning on KNEW, Metro Media Radio 91, Oakland, San Francisco.
Second down, a little over 10. He lost about a half yard on the play. Taylor goes to the right with a tight end I formation. Now they shift, sending Pitts wide to the left, Arbanis the tight end to the left. Split backs. Dawson dropping back to pass, looks out in the right flat, throws one to Holmes. Connors is over, hits him, and knocks him down. Connors had that play figured from the very outset. He slid inside the block of Dave Hill and got a high tackle on Holmes that sent him flying back at the 29-yard line. A loss of nearly 9 on the play, make it the 28-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 19. Boy, Connors was on top of that play mentally and physically. Another third down play for the Chiefs. Raider defense waiting for Kansas City to break that huddle. 6:55 to go, second quarter. Raiders lead it 7-0. Tipped very wide to the left. In the slot is Garrett. Otis Taylor to the right. Backpedaling is Dawson into the pocket. He gets the blocking. He's got plenty of time. Throwing deep for Garrett. And he cannot hold on at the Raider 35. With Grayson covering, Garrett stretched out and nearly made a miracle catch with a diving, headlong effort. But he could not hold on. And the Raiders forced the punting team in once again for Kansas City.
Bill, we're seeing something a little different. Kansas City is not generally a club that will throw the ball deep, and they've done it several times today. Fortunately for Oakland, he's been just a little long, and the receivers haven't held on to the ball, but they generally don't throw those kind of deep patterns.
And surprisingly, to their back. Atkinson back now to wait for the punt. From the 28, Wilson gets off a low line drive spiral. George takes it on the Raider 30. Atkinson trying to run to the right. He gets a block. He's got to run further to the right. He eludes Willie Mitchell, but Mitchell hangs on, and Atkinson is down at the 21. Atkinson kept moving wider and wider to the right, but could never turn the corner, and Mitchell, covering the wide side, made the tackle. Followed on the play by Bob Stein. So the Raiders take over as Wilson is doing a great job of punting, as is the Raiders' Mike Eyeshide today. They put the ball in the 20, call it the 22 now. Another 50-yard effort by Wilson. Gerald Wilson is a veteran who led the AFL in punting yardage this year with 44.4 average and 68 punts. 7-year campaigner out of southern Mississippi, 6'4", 222 pounds.
So the amazing thing about that punt and the subsequent poor return by Atkinson is it was a little bit of a line drive. Generally, line drive punts outspeed the coverage, of course, to the receiver, and they oftentimes result in good returns. But Kansas City's outside coverage, particularly by Mitchell, was excellent, and although there was great yardage on that punt, it's normally the kind that comes back the other way in a great hurry.
Your car has brakes, an engine, tires, wheels, maybe even air conditioning, and Union 76 has men who know how to handle them all. Certified servicemen who know what they're doing, so look up to 76. Raiders come up now with double tight ends and Biletnikoff out to the right. One of the tight ends, though, is Rod Sherman. And LaMonica pitches a quick one over to Billy Cannon up the middle at the 34, and he's hit with a high tackle by Marsalis. Billy Cannon slanting right out of the tight end position on the right side. Sherman had lined up tight on the left. Took the pass, and it's a first down. His second catch of the day. 6:05 left, second quarter. Raiders on top here by a 7-0 count. Sherman now out to the left, just wide of Cannon. Biletnikoff, close flank to the right. Handoff to Dixon. No hole. He is driven back by Buck Buchanan to the 30-yard line. Buchanan came roaring in over Gene Upshaw that time. They say the play was dead at the 32. A loss of 2. Well, more like 1. Call it second 11 and a half. They bring in Goldie Sellers and Willie Mitchell into the backfield now, pulling out middle linebacker Lanier and tackle Curly Culp. So they have 3 rushers, 2 linebackers, and 6 defensive backs. looking for LaMonica perhaps to go for the big passing effort here. Now here's a double wing with only Dixon behind LaMonica. 4 potential wide receivers, including Cannon. He and Sherman out of the left. The handoff to Dixon up the middle, and he powers his way upfield to the 37-yard line where Lynch hits him with Jerry Mays. Call it the 38, but it's 3rd and 6. 3rd down 6. And now Culp and Lanier come back for Kansas City, and Sellers and Mitchell go out. Sellers and Mitchell had a nightmarish day here a year ago in December when the Raiders just ate them alive with wide receivers Wells and Biletnikoff catching passes all over the field in a 41-6 Raider victory. Now Cannon goes to wide receiver to the left. Sherman to the right, slotted inside Biletnikoff. Back goes LaMonica to pass. Mays in on the rush. He throws the screen to the right to Dixon, but he is hit by Bobby Bell, leading 3 Kansas City tacklers at the 38-yard line for no gain. Bell had to play well figured and was waiting for Dixon. So it's 4th down, and the Chiefs do a good job of containing the Raider attack. After a quick first down pass to Cannon, holding for 3. Ball on the 39 now, where Eichheit comes in to punt. Garrett goes back with Mitchell, waiting inside the Kansas City 20. Eichheit takes the snap and gets away a punt. That is going to land on the 30. Good coverage, though. Garrett picks it up. He gets away from one tackler and is spun off his feet at the 25-yard line. He picked it up at about the 23 and returned it a couple of yards. Lloyd Edwards was one of the men down, but before him was Chip Oliver and Dwayne Benson. And Jim Otto also, the last one off the file, so he was very prominent in the coverage. Garrett comes out in the backfield. This quarter being sponsored by the 32 Central Valley National Bank offices because it's worth a quarter to make a couple of friends. 36-yard punt by Eichheit. They have Warren McVeigh, a speedster, in the backfield. Now they shift. Pitts to the left. Taylor to the right. Handoff is faked and then given to McVeigh, and McVeigh can't turn the corner going wide to the right. And Connors over to chop him down with Carlton Oates at the 26-yard line for a gain of 1. McVeigh, during the season, gained an even 500 yards. His per-carry average was very high, 4.7. Garrett's was 4.4. Hayes, Holmes, 4.1. Under the 3-minute mark in the second quarter, 2:55 to go. Raiders 7-0 over the Chiefs. Dawson is 3 for 11 passing. LaMonica is 10 for 16 passing. McVeigh slots to the left, inside Pitts. Out to the right goes Taylor. Only one remaining back. Backpedaling is Dawson. And there's a blitz on. He ducks under the blitz by Oliver. He rolls to the right. He throws. And a sliding catch is made by Otis Taylor at the 40-yard line for a Kansas City first down. A blitz by Oliver had the play beaten, but Chip was coming in high. Dawson bobbed under. Oliver's high tackle rolled to the right and threw to Taylor. Otis making his second catch of the day. So that gets the Chiefs some operating room now at the 40-yard line. Dawson in the standing Kansas City huddle. The American Football League championship on the line. Pitts to the left. McVeigh slotted almost up against Pitts. Taylor to the right. Backpedaling goes Dawson. He looks. He throws out in the left flat to Holmes, who drops it. It's a diving scramble for the football, but the play was dead as an incompletion. Going after it that time was Mo Mormon, the guard of Kansas City, along with Gus Otto of the Raiders. Carlton Oates comes out for the Raiders in the front 4, and Al Dotson comes in. I think Carl's having that pinched nerve problem in the shoulder and neck area again. Yes, he is. This is a thing that happens quite frequently to him, and there's a flag had fallen that we had not seen. The Raiders were guilty of holding defensively, and it's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down. So the ball in the Kansas City 45, 1st and 10. Tight end eye, and here comes Ben Davidson fouling across the line into Jim Tyrer. Let's see if he was offside or if he was drawn off by illegal procedure. Davidson has played very strongly today against Tyrer. One of Ben's better ball games. Dawson marching backward, but the officials penalize the Raiders. Offside. The way Dawson marched back, it had the appearance that Kansas City was going to be hit with a penalty. And now the field goal possibility also enters the picture here with 2:27 left in the second quarter, should Kansas City not be able to move the football exceedingly well at this point. Tight end eye, and they go from it. The handoff to Holmes, way up the middle, rambling to the 45 and inside to the 43. Running right out of the tight end eye without a shift. Holmes really had momentum that time. He ran effectively that way in the game here on December 13th. First down for the Chiefs for the first time in Raider territory today. Putting together a good drive now that has promise for them. They trail the Raiders 7-0. The 2-minute warning has just flashed and is being observed on the field by the officials. A warning going to both benches. With the Raiders leading 7-0, Dan Connors comes over to talk to John Madden. And, of course, Lenny Dawson confers with Coach Hank Stram of Kansas City. It's the new secret weapon in the battle of the sexes, Italian Swiss colony Pink Chablis, the wine for a woman to drink with a man. Ball on the Raiders' 42.5. First and 10, Kansas City. They have 5 first downs. The Raiders have 9. Dawson has completed 4 of 13. LaMonica 10 of 16. Kansas City now sending Taylor to the right with Pitts in the slot. And as the Chiefs get to the line of scrimmage, the referee steps in. And I thought he was going to change the football. Apparently enough time hadn't expired. I have no other indication. The time had not expired during the 2-minute warning timeout period. Obviously, Dawson and the Chiefs were anxious to get things rolling again. That cool wind still blowing almost across field, a bit diagonally at times from the northeast. All right, Pitts slotted to the right inside Taylor. Brown covering Taylor, Wilson on Pitts. McVay comes in motion to the left, leaving only Holmes behind Dawson. Dawson backpedals to pass. He has time. He's throwing deep for Taylor. He's open. He has got it, and he is out of bounds on the 1-yard line. Taylor had to come back slightly and slow down inside the 5. He had a big lead opened up on Nehemiah Wilson, the quarterback. He took the pass with his back to the goal line, and Wilson shoved him out of bounds on the 1. Goal to go, Kansas City. A 41-yard pass. Rookie Morris Stroud, who was just activated today, 6 feet 10 inches tall, 240 pounds, is in at a tight end. He's on the left, Arbanis on the right. Hayes is in the backfield with Holmes. First and goal. Taylor is out to the left. The handoff to Hayes. He plows for a touchdown, Chiefs. Kansas City scores with Oakland product Wendell Hayes by way of Humboldt State, carrying in from the 1-yard line, climaxing a 75-yard Kansas City drive. The Raiders went 76 yards for their score. Now Stenerud is in for the conversion try. He scored 119 points this year, runner-up to Jim Turner in the scoring race. Turner of the Jets won the championship. Dawson spots it. Stenerud kicks it good. So Stenerud kicks just as he did throughout the regular season when he converted 38 of 38. And the Chiefs have tied it up 7-7. And we have before us right now just the kind of a football game that most everybody thought it would be. Tough and tight and even Steven. That catch by Taylor was his 3rd of the day. He has caught them for 15, 14, and 41 yards, respectively. Charlie Smith has caught 5 Raider passes, mostly in short yardage situations, the longest being 7. Brimming with Italian gaiety, tangy with Italian flavor. That's Italian Swiss colony Chianti, light in the Italian style. Stenerud will kick off. Waiting for the Raiders will be George Atkinson and Rod Sherman. And the boot by Stenerud is a strong, deep kick, and Atkinson takes it 2 yards back in the end zone. He's out to the 5. The 10 follows the wedge and then flares out to the left, looks for a hole, and at the 22, he's off his feet. So Atkinson returns at 24 yards. The tackle made by Chuck Hurston, a veteran, member of the special team, a backup linebacker, can also play defensive end. LaMonica has 1 minute and 45 seconds, now 1 minute 40 on the clock, here in the second quarter. And he has a long way to go yet to get the Raiders in position for even a field goal attempt. Willie Mitchell is in a prevent defense, 5 backs in the defensive secondary. Draw play, Dixon flaring out to the left, and it's Emmett Thomas who finally knocks him down, assisted by Lynch, around the 27-yard line. Dixon went out of bounds, but the play had been whistled dead first, and so the clock is still running. 1:19 to go here in the second quarter. Hewitt gaining 5 on the play. The ball on the 27. Second down and 5. They have Goldie Sellers in the ball game. They have 6 defensive backs now. Dixon going wide to the left is hit and gets up to the 34-yard line. Bobby Bell made the stop, the left linebacker, close to a first down. The Raiders have stopped the clock with a timeout call at 58 seconds to go here in the second quarter. The front 4 of the Chiefs is now made up of a front 3, if you will. Aaron Brown, Buck Buchanan, and Jerry Mays is for this prevent defense. They add 2 defensive backs and pull a linebacker and the front 4 tackle Curly Culp. They leave Lynch and Bell in as linebackers and pull Willie Lanier. It is a first down for the Raiders on the 34-yard line in their own territory in anybody's football game. Minnesota impressively defeated Cleveland today 27-7 to win the NFL championship. And the Vikings now need only to find out which of these 2 clubs they will meet next Sunday, and the stage will be set for the Super Bowl at New Orleans.
Bill, we've had a perfect example of what can happen in a big football game with 2 fine teams. Oakland unquestionably has dominated the game to this point, but a great play by Otis Taylor, who's a tremendous athlete with great skills, brought the Chiefs right back into the contest.
Raiders with double tight ends. One of them is Rod Sherman. Man to the right is Bolitnikoff. LaMonica throws a screen pass to Charlie Smith. He gets 1 block at the 30, 35, follows blocking to the 40, and with Jim Otto out in front, he was finally knocked down at the 42. Make it the 44. Kearney coming over with Buck Buchanan to trail the play. So the Raiders are close to a first down. A whistle indicates a timeout call by the Raiders, and they might have to measure the football right near the sideline, only a few yards from the chain and the stakes. They're eyeballing it right now with defensive Captain Jerry Mays over there to look on, but the indication is that the Raiders have the first down. They're 11th as compared to 7 for Kansas City. So they are now on their own 44, but with 43 seconds left and only 1 timeout left to them, LaMonica and Madden talk it over on the sideline. He will come back undoubtedly with a sequence ready to set up so that after the first play, the next can be run without a huddle. Warren Wells pulls off his parka, goes over in the huddle with LaMonica and Madden. Just a note for all of you fans, when it comes to fine clothes for men and boys, only the 18 Smith stores in Northern California can promise quality and reasonable prices. Wells, who caught a pass that set up the Raiders' touchdown, comes in for Cannon. Ball on the Raider 44. 6 defensive backs in for Kansas City. So strategy against strategy. Otto over the ball at center. It'll be a double wing. To the left, Smith and Sherman. To the right, Wells and Bolitnikoff. Back goes LaMonica to pass. Big push for the ends. He's hit. He is down. Aaron Brown gets him at the Raider 35. Brown finally got around Bob Swayas and got Darryl LaMonica. They put it on the 36, the second time today he's been dropped trying to throw. Dawson has eaten the football once. 38 seconds to go. Mitchell goes out of the ball game now, and on second down and 20, see who the Chiefs have back in. No, he didn't go out. He was over to talk to Strand. Now Wells to the left. 23 seconds to go, second quarter. Biletnikoff to the right. And the handoff to Dixon, powering wide to the left. He gets a nice block from Charlie Smith, but he's upended at the 40. Coming over was Bobby Bell again, who's ranging very wide on defense. Mitchell helping. 8 seconds, and the Raiders now are going to let that clock run out. Charlie Smith gave him a good block on Aaron Brown, but there was too much help from the secondary, and there's the gun, sounding the end of the first half of play. And a look at the scoreboard shows the Oakland Raiders 7 and the Kansas City Chiefs 7. Of Aquarius by the Fifth Dimension. That's entertaining here at halftime in the Oakland Alameda County Stadium for the 10th Annual American Football League Championship, which at halftime finds us tied 7-7. In a moment, George Rademan will talk with Commissioner Pete Rozelle, but right now we pause 30 seconds for station identification.
When you're looking for someone to look after you, up to 76.
Union 76 dealers know about cars. They live with them all day. Plus, they've got the best gasolines around and 76 revolving credit to help you pay the bill. Drop in. Don't get caught out on the limb.
When you're looking for someone to look after you, up to 76.
Now the Kansas City Chiefs break away from their huddle on the far side of the field. The Raiders' receiving team is already on the field. The Chiefs will kick off at the second half outset from the 40-yard line to the south. That's to our right. The Raiders will be returning with Atkinson and Rod Sherman. The platform on which the Fifth Dimension operated for their halftime entertainment is now completely dismantled and being wheeled off the field, and we're all set to go. Great punting in the first half by Eyeshide, 49.5-yard average on 4 kicks. By Wilson of Kansas City, 46.1 average on 6 kicks. Stenerud will kick off, soccer style. Native of Oslo, Norway, moves up on the football, and here we go. It's a line drive that'll bounce. It hits on the 7. It's scooped up by Atkinson on the 3, up to the 15, to the 20, straight ahead to the 30, 35, breaks through at the 40, spins away from the tackler at the 45, goes to the 50. He's down on the Kansas City 45-yard line. Jim Marcellus made the stop. Art Toms and Lloyd Edwards were out in front on the blocking wedge that time. Roger Hagberg gave him an early one. 52-yard return by Atkinson. Will that be a spark for the Raider offense? Let's see. Sherman to the left, slots inside Biletnikoff. Hand off to Dixon, powering out to the left, looking for a block. He has to cut back, but Aaron Brown knocked him flat for a loss of about 2 or 3 yards. Jim Lynch assisting. Here comes Pete Vanazak into the ball game for the first time today, replacing Dixon. Dixon couldn't get wide because Charlie Smith could not give him the kind of a block to get wide. He kept bending off the defender, but couldn't get him outside. Vanazak in for the first time today and pretty healthy. Slot right, Sherman inside Biletnikoff. Cannon splits off to the left. Second down and 12. LaMonica back deep. He looks. He throws for Sherman, makes a nice catch and goes out of bounds on the 35-yard line of Kansas City, driven out by Emmett Thomas. Sherman coming out of the slot and running an out pattern laterally along the 35. May called for a measurement. It's very close. For Rod today, that is his second catch. The statistics are pretty much off the mark at halftime. They don't show him with a catch at all, and he had one in the first half, and they showed Taylor with only 2, and he had 3. Raiders are short by 1 foot, the length of the football approximately. So Banaszak and Charlie Smith are the running backs. Cannon the tight end. Wide receivers, Biletnikoff and Sherman. Ball on the 35-yard line of the Chiefs. The Raiders' third down and a foot. Big play right here. Our unofficial tally shows the Raiders making good on 2 of 7 third down yardage situations, and the Chiefs not succeeding in 6 of them. On the left is Sherman, on the right, Biletnikoff. The handoff to Smith over left guard. Jim Harvey gives him a block. He's got the first down with plenty to spare, where Lanier drags him down on the 32. The right guard, Jim Harvey, pulls, leading the hole through outside the left guard position. And Charlie Smith went to the 31 where they put it down. Raiders huddle, come to the line of scrimmage. Kansas City 31-yard line. Sherman left, covered by Thomas. Out to the right, Biletnikoff. Post coverage by Marcellus. LaMonica with a long count. Now gives it to Smith. Sends him outside left tackle. Harvey leading the way again as he's down to the 26-yard line. Bobby Bell made the stop. And on the bottom of the stack is Lanier, the middle linebacker. Gain on the play of 5. Second down and 5. Almost identical to the previous play that got the first down. He hit in just a little wider to the left, working on the Kansas City right side. Mays, Culp, Buchanan, Brown along the Kansas City front 4. Sherman slots right inside Biletnikoff. Banaszak in motion to the left to occupy a linebacker. Back is LaMonica. Flag falls. The pass is thrown incomplete. He was throwing to Charlie Smith, cutting under a deep pattern at the 20-yard line. He was covered by Lynch, but the ball was thrown very, very short. Billy Cannon ran a deep pattern toward the corner at the goal line, and that left an area for Smith to operate in, operating with an out pattern at the sideline. A discussion on the flag now, which fell at the snap of the ball. Cannon to the left, slotted to the right is Sherman. It is now second down and 10. The ball in the Kansas City 31. LaMonica on the snap, drops back. Here comes the rush by Brown. He throws, incomplete, intended for Biletnikoff, running a quarter pattern against Marcellus, but he was underthrown. 2.5 minutes into the second half of play. Bill King with Scotty Sterling and all of the action here at the Coliseum in Oakland for the American Football League Championship. Biletnikoff to the right, Sherman in the slot. Cannon about 7 yards out to the left. Third down play, LaMonica back. Another rush by Brown. He is hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. He was throwing straight down the middle for Sherman, who was running it up and in, and LaMonica is shaken up. Brown really boring through that time, and he's starting to win that battle with Bob Swias over there on that side of the line. It'll be fourth down, and the field goal team coming on with Blanda. The line of scrimmage, the 31. The ball will be held by LaMonica. He's all right. He was hit soon enough by Brown that the ball died on his pass to Sherman. Darrell will spot at the 39, left hash mark. The snap, the spot, the kick is no good. It's off to the right. Time is out on the field as the Chiefs take over, and with 12:26 to go in the third quarter, the scoreboard shows Raiders 7, Kansas City 7. You're given a chance to move the football on their own 20. They line up in the tight end eye, and they shift out of it, sending Pitts left and Taylor right. Garrett in the backfield with Holmes. Long count by Dawson, possible audible. He gives to Garrett, slices outside left tackle, rolling upfield to the 31-yard line. Fumble, Raiders recover. Getting up to run with the football is Tom Keating, but the play was dead. Garrett peeled off 11 yards, but was hit hard. And the ball popped loose, and Tom Keating recovered. First and 10 Raiders. Can they turn this break into a real pivotal point in the ball game? Let's see. Ball on the 33-yard line of the Chiefs. This is the turnover factor we mentioned at the outset today. Bolitnikoff to the left. Slotted inside him is Sherman. Out to the right as a wingback is Charlie Smith. Cannon swings over to the right side at tight end. Back is LaMonica to pass. He looks. He throws.
The pass is to Smith. Out of bounds. Charlie Smith, number 23, covered by Bobby Bell, a linebacker, with help from Johnny Robinson, and Smith is injured. And it looks like Johnny Robinson down in that pile of 42. I believe we'll be able to see his number in a moment. Looks like he hurt his knee as he came off that sideline. We got our vision block there with all the people standing. Is it Smith or Robinson? Kansas City player. Kansas City's backup safety man was Cesar Belzer, who is unable to play today. He has had the flu for the last couple of weeks. And Johnny Robinson, of course, one of the best safety men in football, free safety, who can really diagnose back there and roam. So he's down right now, and that's what we're waiting to see how he is. Kansas City club went to Santa Barbara this week and trained all week. Hank Stram said it really helped them to get out of the cold conditions of Kansas City and get out here where they can get their passing attack sharpened up, the timing back in their offense. So they've been at it all week while, of course, Oakland has stayed home.
And now, Curt, for the entire second quarter and this here, the third quarter, the Kansas City Chiefs secondary has been giving LaMonica a great deal of trouble, LaMonica. The rush, as you pointed out, has been a big factor, especially from Aaron Brown. Darrell has been going mostly to the wide stuff. He has not been trying to negotiate the middle, and it does look like the one man to beat in that middle would be 63, Willie Lanier, so we might look for something like that.
Hank Stram, you can just see him crouched over his injured player with the top of his head pointed at you. They're working on Johnny Robinson. And there he is. He's up. And looks wobbly. And he's going to come in it's his right shoulder or right arm that has been injured. This could be a real blow to Kansas City to lose their free safety. He's coming into the Kansas City locker room. Willie Mitchell has come in to replace him. Mitchell is normally a cornerback. Second and 10 for Oakland on the Kansas City 33.
The Raiders with the slot formation to the right. LaMonica dropping back very deep on second down. He's throwing it deep when he's got a man open, and it is incomplete on the 5-yard line. Going deep, running a corner pattern that time was Larry Todd, who came in during the timeout, and the two defenders crossing. were just enough to harry him, and he couldn't hold on. It was Willie Mitchell and Jim Lynch. LaMonica is shaken up now and has come to the sideline.
Bill, it's his wrist. He came off shaking his wrist. It may have been a repeat of what happened in that preseason game with Kansas City where his arm hit somebody's head. Darrell definitely has a problem with his right wrist, and Blanda is in the ballgame.
An amazing turn of events here early in the third quarter, personnel-wise, by both clubs. Cannon to the left, slot formation to the right. Wells is in, inside Biletnikoff. Blanda back. He's looking for Todd, and he overthrows him, and he had him wide open on an out pattern at the 20-yard line. Todd had made his break to the side and left Jim Lynch slipping on the turf. But he overthrew him. LaMonica being checked by Dr. Small and the training staff of the Raiders. And with 4th down now and 10 on the Kansas City 33, Blanda will try a field goal from the 40-yard line. Rod Sherman will hold. The ball is spotted. It is kicked. It is wide to the right. And Kansas City takes great note of that as Jerry Mays leaps up and down in a gleeful fashion. With 11:32 to go in the third quarter, time is out on the field. A look at the scoreboard shows the Raiders 7 and Kansas City 7.
They're still working on the Oakland quarterback, Darrell LaMonica. First down, Kansas City on their 20. Our game is tied 7-all. 11:30 to play in the third period. Down behind the line of scrimmage. 18-yard line. Dan Connors, number 55 on the tackle. And quickly back to Charlie Jones.
All right, Curt, here's the situation on Darrell LaMonica. He has hurt his right wrist and his right arm, and you may recall in preseason Birmingham, this is the same right hand that he had hurt before. That was in preseason. They do not, of course, at this point know whether he will be able to play again. Right now, it looks doubtful. Back to you.
Looks like you have ice packs on his right wrist to try and stop the swelling. Second down, 12. There it again. And he stopped on his 19-yard line. By Ike Lassiter, the left end. You know, Curt, at the end of the first half, right in the second period, where Kansas City got their game going, they were going pretty much from their basic formation. We see them come out the first time they had the ball in this third period. They gave it to Mike Garrett. Here again, they've given it to him. Apparently, they realized that maybe they'd better get back to that game plan that got them this far in the first game. 3rd and 11 for Kansas City from their 19. Garrett in motion. Dawson's pass, incomplete. Over the head of Otis Taylor, nearly picked off by Dave Grayson. The free safety, number 45, 4th and 11. And Kansas City will be in a punt formation. George Atkinson and Rod Sherman will be going back. Sherman's 13, Atkinson 43. Gerald Wilson, who averaged 46 yards a kick in the first half, will be booting. Probably trying to kick it away from Atkinson, who's a more dangerous returner than Sherman.
Shadows beginning to creep over the field from the western sideline. The snap, the kick by Wilson is a rather poor one, high and wobbling toward midfield. Lands at the 50 and bounds backward into Kansas City territory, where it was grabbed by Chuck Hurston around the 48 or 49-yard line. For the first time today, a relatively poor punt. But the Raiders must begin to take advantage of these breaks at this moment.
Bill, I was just going to point out the Raiders had a great return of the opening kickoff by Atkinson. Tremendous field position, couldn't convert it. In the last Kansas City series, they recovered a fumble at the 33 and couldn't convert it. And now, once again, in good field position.
42-year-old George Blanda at quarterback. Ball on the 48 of Kansas City. Steps back 2 steps and fires one that's just barely incomplete. A quickie Fired to Rod Sherman on a slant in at the 32, but it led him just a hair too much. So it'll be 2nd and 10. With Sherman to the left. Back goes George again. He's being rushed. He throws a screen out to the right to Banaszak. He is hit, stumbles forward, and makes the line of scrimmage. Coming up was Kearney to get him. He was being pursued from behind by Cult and might have been caught anyway, even though he had a good wave of blockers in front. But slicing through was Kearney to knock him down. Chiefs continue with Bell at left linebacker. He was limping, but has stayed in there. Lanier in the middle, Lynch on the right. The corners, Marcellus and Thomas. Cutting right inside Biletnikoff, 3rd and 9. Cannon out to the left. Smith and Banaszak are the backs. Back goes Blanda in the pocket. Has to throw quick, and he gets Smith on the 35, the 30. He is hit. The ball pops out of his hands, but out of bounds. It's a Raider football on the 24. First down. Jim Lynch, the linebacker, hit Smith after he caught the pass on the 35. He hit him on the 30, slanting to the sidelines. The ball squirted out of his hands, and of course it was last possessed by the Raiders when it went out. 4th time in 11 situations on a 3rd down opportunity. The Raiders have made good the yardage today. Wells to the left, but not wide. Biletnikoff to the right, but not wide. Watch a possible sweep here. Nope, he's going to go back to pass. He gets good blocking. Blanda looks. Blanda throws deep. He's overthrowing Warren Wells. The ball on the 24-yard line of the Chiefs. It is 7-7. It's 8:39 to go in the 3rd quarter. Wells slotted right. Thomas to cover. Outside him is Biletnikoff. Marcellus in coverage. Back goes Blanda deep. Steps up. He throws. Intercepted by Thomas in the end zone. Wells goes after him. Gets him by the shirt as he tries to run it out at the 5. He spins off a tackle by Upshaw at the 5. He's finally knocked down at the 6-yard line by Cannon. Wells slipped as he made his cut on the 9-yard line. The pass was overthrown. It was leading him, of course, and Thomas leaped in the air to catch it in the end zone and run it back out. Chiefs ball. Out on the field. 8:27 to go in the 3rd quarter, and the scoreboard showing the Raiders 7 and the Chiefs 7. Has been throwing the football on the sideline, indicating when the Raiders next get the ball, he may be ready to go. He's flexing his wrist and hand, talking to John Madden, walking up and down. But now it's Kansas City's football as they gain their first turnover of the day at the expense of the Raiders. The ball on their own 6-yard line, 1st and 10. Dawson, the quarterback. It's like Hayes is in there at fullback now. I'm not sure. Let's check it. That is Hayes and Holmes. Garrett is not in. Slot formation to the right. The backs are in an eye. In motion to the left is Holmes. Back into the end zone goes Dawson to pass. Just as he's hit, he throws far upfield for Pitts. Incomplete. Running it up and out with Nehemiah Wilson covering well. And I'm going to correct myself. Gloucester Richardson came in for Pitts on that play, and it was he running out of the slot back position for the first time in the 2nd half that he's been in action. And Wilson had him very well blanketed. He was overthrown to the sideline. Delicious with German food, with any food, or all by itself. That's Italian Swiss colony Rheinskeller, light in the German style. I've just been recorrected. I was right. It was Pitts, and Richardson coming into the game for Pitts came from the same spot. So it was Pitts they threw to, and Richardson is now in. Split back. Hand off to Holmes, looking for room to the right. Oliver hits him. Holmes is down on the 2-yard line. Oliver almost knocked him into the end zone for a safety, and Holmes slithered and scampered his way before Connors got him on the 2. He was actually backpedaling upfield away from the end zone as if it were a great chasm he were about to fall into. Now the Raider defense digging in on 3rd and 16.
Bill, when LaMonica got hurt and the defense went back into the ball game, I think I noticed really an upsurge. I think they felt that with Darrell hurt at that point that they were going to have to really put the pressure on and perhaps create a break of their own, and they seem to be continuing it here. Now here is the tight end. Back goes Dawson to pass. He looks. He's got plenty of time. Throwing well upfield. And it is a miraculous catch by Otis Taylor. He is out of bounds on the 38-yard line.
There's a big discussion over whether he was on the sideline when he caught it or not, with 3 Raiders in coverage. Actually, Taylor was running a pattern very close to Gloucester Richardson's, and Grayson was over there with Nehemiah Wilson and Willie Brown. It was an Allworth type of reception, a magnificent reaching grab, and Kansas City comes out of deep trouble to the 32. Check it, the 37 and a first down. There was a brief discussion about it being in bounds, and it was ruled he was. Here's the tight end eye, and they shift now into a full house T formation. And the handoff to Holmes, who cracks up the middle and with tremendous momentum goes to the 43. Talk about pivotal plays in the game. That could be one. 7-7 now, 7:15 to go, and a very long third quarter. Kansas City second down and about 4.5. Here's Pitts to the left and Richardson to the right now. Taylor is out of there. Back is Dawson to pass. Plenty of time. He's throwing for Holmes. He takes it over the shoulder to 50. Gets away from Otto. Goes to the 40. Goes to the 35. And he's pumped off his feet by Dan Connors at the 33-yard line. Holmes flaring out of the backfield. Got away from a tackle by Gus Otto as he took the ball over his shoulder with a step on Gus. Holmes has caught a lot of passes this year. He caught 26 in the regular season. Garrett comes in. Holmes comes out. Pitts is also out, and now the Chiefs on the 34 in Raider territory. They have 9 first downs. The Raiders have 13. Taylor is at a tight end on one side. Gloucester Richardson tight end on the other. They're both outside receivers by Trey. Full house backfield with Arbanis back there, but they give to Garrett over the middle. He's bumped by Otto and knocked off his feet by Chip Oliver. Garrett flying high. On the bottom of the stack is Keating, who helped to clog up that middle, but Mike Garrett got 2 yards to the 32. 5:45 to go. The Chiefs are now within reasonable percentage range of Jan Stenerud's strong right leg. Field position, important. Turnovers important today. The Raiders unable to take advantage of a turnover they forced on a fumble recovery. LaMonica's throwing, loosening up down below us. Now the full house backfield again. And the handoff to Garrett. Garrett fake. Back to passes. Dawson throwing. And it's incomplete. They call pass interference on Nehemiah Wilson. He threw for Taylor. Wilson is furious about the call. Taylor was bumped inside the 10. Chip Oliver is over to argue. So is George Atkinson. But the play has been made and called. A beautiful fake by Dawson on a play-action pass pattern, throwing to the corner to Taylor. Wilson bumped him a little bit, and then Taylor couldn't hold it. And the Chiefs have first and goal on the 7-yard line. Stroud is into the ball game, the big 6'10 rookie. Arbanis and Stroud are double tight ends. Hayes in the backfield lines up with Garrett and Holmes in an I formation. The fans boo that official's call, and Dawson will not run the play. He cannot make himself heard. Checking this alignment now for Kansas City. Stroud and Arbanis are the tight ends, and Pitts is in that backfield with Holmes and Hayes in place of Garrett. Pitts lines up directly behind the quarterback. The booing starts. Dawson under center. Now he shifts Pitts out to the right, the only wide receiver. The handoff to Holmes. Holmes hits over right guard, diving to about the 5. Upended by Ike Lassiter. Otis Taylor coming in now. It's on the 4-yard line. He replaces Pitts. All set now. Taylor comes out to the left, double tight ends. Hayes and Holmes behind Dawson. The booing starts. Raiders hold up their hands to tell the fans to cease and desist. And Dawson walks away.
They got all the blocking power they can get in here down on this Oakland goal line. Second down, 4 to go for a Kansas City touchdown. Oakland scored. 36 seconds to go in the first period, and a run by Charlie Smith of 4 yards after a 66-yard drive. Kansas City in the second period marched 75 for the time touchdown. Now they're threatening after 3 times stopping Oakland in this quarter. Here's Holmes. Holmes ran into his own man, who slowed him down, Otis Taylor. And then Dan Carter's made the tackle. But Taylor got mixed up and started flowing back into the play and bothered Holmes. It's on the 5-yard line of Oakland. 3rd and 5 to go for a Kansas City touchdown.
I have 4:12 to go in the third quarter. Boy, that pass interference call was a critical and key play. Tight ends double with Taylor to the left. Now they split the backs. Hayes to the left and Holmes to the right behind Dawson. Give to Holmes again, sending him wide to the left. He has 3 blockers. He's at the 5, the 3. Touchdown, Chiefs! Leading the way that time was Ed Buddy, the left guard, along with Jim Tyrer and Mo Mormon. And so the Chiefs have gone to the lead. Driving the length of the field to score with Holmes carrying it in from 5 yards out. They started on their own 6-yard line, a 94-yard march. Emmett Thomas intercepted in the end zone and ran it out to the 6. Had a key play, a brilliant pass catch by Taylor, got them out of trouble, and then they marched. Stutterud converts. Time is out on the field. 3 minutes and 43 seconds to go in the third quarter, and the scoreboard shows Kansas City 14, the Oakland Raiders 7.
Bill, the Chiefs actually started to turn the momentum around at the tail end of the first half when they went in for the score that tied it with 1:50 left. The Raiders made some breaks and had some breaks early in this quarter, but haven't been able to capitalize on them, and that is additional help to the Kansas City momentum. It gives them a lift when Oakland's at the 33 and can't move, and at the 26 and misses field goals.
Here's the kickoff. Stutterud higher than usual kickoff taken by Atkins at the 5. He's out to the 15, slides off a tackler at the 21, and then hit for keeps by Goldie Sellers, leading 3 tacklers at the 20-yard line. Willie Mitchell was one of them, along with George Daney and Sellers. They'll put the ball where Atkinson got his best forward progress to the 22.5. The Raiders ready to operate, and LaMonica is back at quarterback. But the time that he missed out of there, when Blanda was thrown in cold without a chance to warm up, could have been the critical time of this championship tilt. Slot right, Sherman inside Biletnikoff. Wing back to the left, Charlie Smith. LaMonica gives to Banaszak. Wide sweep to the left, cuts inside Aaron Brown, gets away from him and goes up to the 26, where Jerry Mays dragged him down from behind, assisted by linebacker Jim Lynch, the right side backer. 3:05 to go. Third quarter. The Chiefs lead at 14-7. John Madden walks briskly up and down the Raiders sideline, talking to Dick Wood of his staff right now. He's on the phone to the coaches who are up above. Raider fans, for the best in clothing for men and boys, large and small, rely on Smith for sure fit and great style. Cannon splits to the left. Sherman slotted to the right inside Biletnikoff. Back is LaMonica. Looks right, fires left, incomplete. Underthrew Cannon, running an out. Covered, though, very well by Kearney. The Chiefs, since the end of the first quarter, have had pretty good pressure on LaMonica throughout the second and third period. They've gotten him twice for losses trying to pass, but Brown in particular has been looking down his throat and forced him to rush a little bit.
Additionally, Bill, Darrell, even before hurting his wrist, was not throwing the ball well in this half. I don't know what the problem is, but he was just not throwing the ball well at all.
Slot right again. It's now a third down situation. LaMonica back. He's throwing, has to throw quickly, incomplete. Kearney knocked down the intended receiver, Cannon, and the fans are screaming bloody murder that it was pass interference. Cannon was flat on his back just inside the 40 as the pass was thrown at the left sideline, speaking offensively. Jerry Mays may have slightly deflected the pass. Now it's fourth down. Eyeshide in to punt, and the Chiefs have a chance to get good field position. And here is a flag falling at the snap of the ball. Kearney had not gotten off the field as the punt return team came on. And the official marked off the penalty the wrong way, I think. I thought they were penalizing the Chiefs. And now there's mass confusion down there at the moment. Offside, Raiders. That was what the flag was for. Everybody thought that Kearney failed to get off the field and was a 12th man. So now Eyeshide will punt with the line of scrimmage at the 21. Madden is really hot about that call. Now the snap. Mike gets away a good kick. Waiting for it over on the right side is Garrett. He's hit immediately at the 43. Flying down on the tackle was Marv Hubbard. You could tell he wanted to jolt that ball loose, but Mike hung on for dear life. A lot of time left in this football game. But now, Scotty, the Chiefs have one of the best field position beginnings for a potential drive they've had all day. On their own 42 is where they put it.
And they're in a position, Bill, where they can play their game. They'll run the ball, throw it short probably, try and get down for the touchdown, but if not, they're very close to that 50, and center route is very good anywhere inside that midfield stripe.
Richardson and Taylor are in. Taylor stays at a tight end as Richardson comes out to the left. Only one wide receiver. The handoff to Hayes, who slugs his way all the way past the 50 and straight ahead to the 48 of the Raiders. And Kansas City now sensing the opportunity they have and the fact that they own a 7-point lead. Beginning to gain full-flowered confidence with their offense. 14-7 the Chiefs on a 94-yard drive. Two key plays. They were third down and about 17 on their own 2 when Taylor made a fantastic catch in traffic out at the 37 to get them moving. Here's the handoff to Hayes again. Picks his hole outside left tackle and goes down inside the 45. So he's got the first down, falling forward to the 44. Grayson had a piece of that tackle. First and 10, Kansas City and the Raider 44. The other big play in that Chiefs drive was the pass interference call on Wilson that gave them a first and goal on the Raiders 7. Chiefs break their huddle now. 57 seconds to go in the third quarter, and that clock really beginning to move because the Chiefs staying on the ground. Quick pitch to Holmes. Flag falls. Holmes circling to the right is hit by Chip Oliver at about the 41. But there was a flag just at the snap of the ball, and a quick pitch and a power sweep. Penalty against the Chiefs. Back to the 49-yard line of the Raiders. Offside, Kansas City. Now they have a first down and 15. The ball just a yard inside Raider territory. Looking back into that second quarter, even at halftime, a great deal of speculation here in the booth was that a pivotal play was on a tackle that Dawson was able to slide out of that ultimately let him start the drive for the tying touchdown. Slot formation to the left. Dawson on the long count. Now drops back and gives on a draw play, and Dan Connors blitzing, breaks it up, and throws Holmes to the 43. Holmes, the tailback in the I formation, took it on the draw, and Connors blitzing through the middle, had him immediately. They say the 44 is where the play is dead. So it's now second down and 22 in Kansas City territory. 24 seconds left to go, the clock running in the third quarter. Dawson taking his time. I think he'll let the clock run out the period. Richardson slots to the right inside Taylor. 9 seconds on the clock. Split back. Hand off to Holmes looking for a hole. Keating drops him at the 41. Keating with a flying tackle at the ankle. As Ed Buddy pulled out to lead the blocking, Holmes following him to the right. Keating dropped him from behind. The gun is sounded, ending the third quarter of play. As a look at the scoreboard shows, Kansas City 14, the Raiders 7. Well, you know, there are hundreds of makes and models of cars this year, but only one kind of money, and it's tight. So this might be the right year to lease instead of buy your new car. And that's why so many automobile dealers in Northern California are offering leasing plans through Sunval Leasing, the leasing division of Central Valley National Bank. A leasing plan is just another way of financing a new car, a way with many special advantages. You can afford a larger or better equipped car through leasing. There are tax advantages. You need less of that tight money when you lease, and Sunval Leasing helps you use these special advantages. Most important, a Sunval lease is a bank lease, and people prefer it for the same reasons they prefer bank financing. So talk to your authorized Sunval auto dealer about a Sunval lease, or inquire at any of the 32 offices of Central Valley National Bank. Or you can call Sunval Leasing Direct, 835-4172. Again, that's 835-4172 for Sunval Leasing. Keating comes out on the sideline now, and Al Dotson is in. Keating seems to have damaged his arm. Johnny Robinson is back on the Kansas City bench, by the way. Chiefs now move from our left to our right in a shadowed gridiron. Arbanis slots to the right inside Taylor this time. Pitts is at a tight end now. He splits out to the left. Hayes and Holmes split backs behind Dawson. Long count. No, it's McVeigh. McVeigh running wide to the left. He turns inside. 2 tacklers, gets up to the 50 and cuts back to the 48-yard line of the Chiefs before he was hit by Atkinson and Oliver. He really cut back quickly, peeling in a semicircle inside a web of tacklers to the outside part of the field. But that was a third and long yardage situation that is short of the first down by about 13 yards. So it's 4th and 13. The ball on the 48-yard line of the Raiders. Stenerud is in to try a 55-yard field goal from directly between the hash marks. Atkinson drops back in single safety under the crossbar. Snap. The kick. It's strong, but not strong enough. Atkinson reaches up, knocks it down, picks it up on the 5, and he's down and hit at the 6-yard line. Atkinson was going to try to goaltend that one, if you will, if it were going to go through, and Stenerud came dangerously close. It looked like it was about 2 or 3 feet under the crossbar. Atkinson leaped, tipped it out. It bounded on the 5, and he flopped on it on the 6. LaMonica now 94 yards away from pay dirt. Kansas City went exactly 94 yards in their march for the go-ahead touchdown. To the left is Sherman, to the right is Biletnikoff. The handoff here goes to Charlie Smith, who can't get much, trying to run at the right side of the Kansas City defense. He was stopped at the 7-yard line by Jerry Mays, who came clear across to make the tackle. They put it on the 7, 2nd down and 9. So the Raiders with the burden on them right now. They've had sufficient breaks in the second half on which they were not able to score even a field goal. And consequently, the Chiefs have gained the momentum and the lead. Smith to the left. They've got a double wing now. Smith and Cannon to the left, Sherman and Biletnikoff to the right. They've really thrown to Fred only once today. Back is LaMonica to pass. Big push on, throws over the middle, incomplete. Bobby Bell had an interception at the 16. He juggled it for 4 yards, running laterally along the 16-yard line, and then dropped it.
Bill, I don't know if it's LaMonica's wrist or some other problem, but he just isn't throwing the ball well at all now. There's a possibility that Blanda, perhaps in the next series, might come into the ball game, but Darrell is definitely having some kind of a problem throwing the ball.
Wells comes on, Cannon comes out. It is 3rd and 9. Here's the double wing again. Now check it. Split backs. Banaszak is in there with Charlie Smith behind LaMonica. Darrell back. Big push by Buchanan. He throws one quickly. And there's a flag down as the pass was complete to Smith, who was belted out of bounds on the 9 by Lynch. Willie Mitchell, however, may have been guilty of interference against Sherman a little farther up the around the 15. We'll see what the call is going to be. Defensive holding against the Chiefs. Willie Mitchell, an automatic first down, a 5-yard penalty. Gives the Raiders a little operating room at the 12. 13 minutes, 5 seconds to go. Kansas City 14, the Raiders 7. At the end of 3 quarters, the Raiders had a net passing yardage of 119, the Chiefs of 121. Hand off to Banaszak, gets yardage to the 15, and then runs hard into Bobby Bell, who finally stops him, getting help on the play as he had him standing up for a while and coming over with Brown and Buchanan. Second down, and on the 16-yard line, it'll be 2nd and 6. Raiders had 199 yards total, and Kansas City 172 total at the end of 3 quarters. LaMonica back to pass again. Steps up. He throws. Sherman picks it on the 30, and he's off his feet at the 35. Hit by Lanier and Willie Mitchell. Looked like zone coverage on Rod that time. Running the pattern to the middle at the 30-yard line. The engines in today's cars are too tough for a lot of motor oils, but no engine is too tough for Union 76's new Super Motor Oil. Tougher than it has to be because it was built to be looked up to. Wells slots inside Biletnikoff to the left. Sherman is out to the right. Split backs. LaMonica drops straight back, sets up quickly, fires, intended for Sherman, and on a slant in, Willie Mitchell knocked him down, but there's no pass interference call as Sherman is hollering at the official about that one, and he's really peeved. And the Raiders are doubly peeved because Taylor got the pass interference call in the drive in which Kansas City went to the lead. Head linesman Cal Lepore was the man Sherman went over to bellow at. Sherman to the right, slot formation on the left with Wells inside Biletnikoff. Back goes LaMonica again. He throws a screen out to the right to Charlie Smith. He gets the block on Bell. He's at the 40, 45, up to the 50, and he's in Kansas City territory where Lynch gets him at the 42-yard line. 2 blocks by Jim Harvey and Jim Otto, cutting down Bobby Bell. Enabled Smith to cut behind the block and give the Raiders a big gain to the 42-yard line of the Chiefs. 11:20 to go. 14-7 Kansas City. Slot left, Wells inside Biletnikoff, Sherman wide right. Hand off to Charlie Smith, power sweep to the left behind the guards. He's hit from behind, goes down at the 41. Lynch, who's playing a bang-up ball game at right linebacker, got him. He cut behind Jim Harvey and Gene Upshaw, who were leading the blocking on the sweep. Charlie got nearly 4 on the play at 2nd down and about 6.5. 39-yard line of Kansas City. 10:45 to go. Very important that they get 7 out of a drive like this rather than 3 because the Chiefs are great at eating up that time.
And Bill, also in the sudden death game, I think they have to go for the 7 to force the tie.
Slot right with Sherman going to the left. Back is LaMonica. Throws for Sherman. Incomplete. A sure interception again that didn't materialize. Willie Lanier dropping back in zone pass defense coverage at the 30-yard line. Stepped in front of Sherman, who was dueling with Willie Mitchell, and he had it and dropped it. Second time that's happened is Bell was the other guy who let one get away. The Raiders had George Atkinson with a near interception early in the game that might have broken the ball game wide open.
Bill, Hewitt Dixon went in replacing Pete Banaszak and went in with the play from the bench. So this 3rd down call is coming from the bench.
It's now 3rd and 6.5. Sherman slots right inside Biletnikoff. Wells comes wide to the left with Emmett Thomas to cover. Dixon and Smith in the backfield. LaMonica on the drop back. He steps up. Here comes Mays. He throws. Intercepted by Kearney on the 20. He gets away from Sherman. He looks for blockers. He stutters to the 25. He gets away from Bob Swift. He goes to the 27. He's hit by Wells. And he's finally down on the 32-yard line. Kansas City's football. Charlie Smith made the tackle. There look like there's a flag down on the field. It'll be on the run back, though. It won't call back the interception. The second Kansas City interception of the day. LaMonica had to throw in a hurry because coming in from his right side was Jerry Mays. And the Chiefs are penalized here for a clip on the return by Kearney. Kearney intercepted 5 in the regular season. Thomas was the AFL's interception leader with 9 in the regular season, and they have each picked off 1 today. Now with 10 minutes and 11 seconds to go in the game, Kansas City will try to move that football and move that clock at the same time. Taylor wide to the left, double tight ends. Handoff here goes to Hayes, sweeps out to the right, gets away at the 20. Grayson knocks him out of bounds with a half block and a half tackle at the 26-yard line. Looks like a first down. We'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is KNEW Radio, the official voice of the Oakland Raiders.
This is John Landis. If you're a night owl, join me between 2 and 6 a.m. I play your kind of music on KNEW Metro Media Radio 91, Oakland, San Francisco.
First down Chiefs. They have 12. The Raiders have 16. LaMonica in the second half has been able to hit on only 3 of 12 with a strong rush, and he does not appear to be throwing well, perhaps because of that wrist injury. Taylor about 3 yards to the right, Pitts way out to the left. It's 1st and 10 Chiefs. And the handoff picks up in the backfield, a fumble, a pile-up. I think the Raiders have it. They do. Oakland football. Davidson, Oates, and Keating were all around the ball, and I don't know who they will credit it with. Or credit it to, I should say. It is the 24-yard line. They must make this one pay off.
Well, they've had breaks in this half, and they haven't made them pay off, but they're not going to get a better opportunity than they are now. And Jerry Mays exhorting his Kansas City defensive teammates to toughen up. LaMonica ready to go.
Wells left, Biletnikoff right. Split backs. LaMonica drops back to pass. He looks. He throws. It is intercepted by Marcellus on a deflection. The 10, the 15, the 20, running at the 25, the 30. He's knocked out at the 33-yard line. And Kansas City gets it right back as their defense now is coming up with a big play time and time again. Lanier knocked the ball loose into the air on the pass intended for Sherman on a post pattern at the 10, and Marcellus took it out of the air on the deflection. Right now, Darrell's doing something that he normally doesn't like to do, and it's one of the things that was a pattern of the game in which the Raiders lost to Cincinnati, and that is throwing to the middle into that tough zone coverage.
And, Bill, it's particularly tough when you don't have zing on the ball, and Darrell is not throwing the ball with too much authority.
Kansas City now taking great heart from this with a handoff to Hayes, who busts up the middle for a few across the 35. The thing now, of course, that faces the Raiders is how many more opportunities can you get? They've had their share in the second half. 2nd down and 6. That clock is running, ticking inexorably away against the Raiders as the Chiefs lead 14-7. And they are jubilant over there in that bench area. Backfield with tight end I formation at the moment. They go from that with a quick pitch to Hayes and a power sweep to the right. He's up and he fumbles, and the Raiders get it again. The Raiders get it again on the 31-yard line. Dan Connor. Come on the 31-yard line, 1st and 10. Actually, one of the blockers for Holmes was knocked into him when Wilson hit the blocker. And then the ball was recovered by Connors. Wells to the left, Bolitnikov to the right. LaMonica under center, split back. Darrell drops back to pass and then gives on a draw to Dixon, who's thrown for a loss to the 37-yard line. Busting through is Aaron Brown, who has played a tremendous football game today. Lothermer was in the front four, but he comes out now, and Culp returns. .7:40 to go. Chiefs 14, Raiders 7. An incredible second half here. Bolitnikov to the right, Wells to the left. LaMonica drop back, gets a big rush on. He throws on the move, and it's incomplete. Oh, a tremendous rush by Aaron Brown, who with Jerry Mays assisting flattened Darrell. Clear back at the 50. Right now, Brown has to gained a tremendous upper hand over Bob Swias, who's trying to keep him out of there, and did in the first half. So LaMonica's problems not only are perhaps difficult enough with a possibly damaged wrist, but also the fact that he's being given no time to throw. Sherman is in for Cannon. And now it's third down for the Raiders and 15. The ball on the 36. Wells slots right. Inside Bolitnikov. Sherman to the left. Drops straight back again. He gets the blocking. He looks. He throws for Wells. It is intercepted by Kansas City's Thomas on the 20, up to the 30, the 40, running free at the 50, gets away from Chew at the 40. He's at the left side of the 30. He cuts back and is finally hit by Bolitnikov on the Raiders' 24-yard line. Emmett Thomas with a marvelous return of 56 yards on an interception. Throwing to Wells. And that's the fourth interception of the day. 2 by Thomas, 1 by Kearney, and 1 by Marcellus. And the Raiders again have seen the golden opportunity not only get away, but now on Thomas' effort, the Kansas City Chiefs are knocking on the door. I said at the 23 it was 5 yards off. It's at the 18. The Raiders have been able to make good only 5 times in 15 third down efforts, and Kansas City only once in 8. But that hasn't been always the key today. Hayes is hit at the line of scrimmage and surges forward for a couple of yards. 6:40 to go. Clock is stopped for the moment. The ball is placed on the 17, a gain of 1. So that return will be 61 yards rather than 56, which I had called immediately at the end of it. Pitch to the left, Taylor to the right. Hayes in the backfield along with Garrett, and the handoff to Garrett, who's hit and stopped at the line of scrimmage. Raider defense has done everything asked of them here in the second half of play. Getting the ball back on fumble recoveries. But Darrell LaMonica, who's obviously having some sort of physical trouble with that arm or wrist, has not been able to get the Raider offense into the tying situation. Presented time and again with the opportunity. It is 3rd and 9. 5:42 to go, but they're well within Stenerud field goal range. The ball on the Raiders' 17. Hayes and McVeigh interchange in the backfield as Taylor is out to the right as a flanker. Hand off to McVeigh. Power sweeping to the left, looking for a block. Hit from the side by Connors and Oliver at the 14-yard line. Short of the first down, but it'll be 4th down situation. And Stenerud coming in for the conversion try, for the field goal try. From the left hash mark, the ball is on the 15. They're probably kick from about the 22. 5:05 to go. Time running short on the Raiders. The Chiefs leading 14-7. It'll be the 22-yard line. Now the snap on the spot. The kick is up. He's got it. It's good. And Kansas City leads by 10. Time out on the field. 4 minutes and 48 seconds to go. And the scoreboard showing the Chiefs 17, the Raiders 7.
The two coaches, Madden on your left, worried he should be. Hank Stram, a little sprightlier on the right. The team with a 10-point lead and under 5 minutes to play. Benaroot kick. High, not too deep. Sherman fields it on the 10. And George Daney brings him down on the 27-yard line. We're looking to see if Buck Buchanan's coming back in. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's back in the game.
Curt, before the game, I mentioned to Jim Schaaf, the very affable PR man for the Kansas City Chiefs. I said I liked Oakland. He said, well, I wouldn't. He said, the Chiefs have been just great all week.
Oakland ball now on the 26-yard line. The last 3 times they've had it, they've been intercepted. As it's cut by the line of scrimmage. Intended for Charlie Smith. But that ball was tipped. Buck Buchanan again. Buck Buchanan tipped it. 6'9", 275. Oakland has one of the most explosive offenses of pro football. They run 5-man pass patterns. A very sophisticated offense. You can see what a great defensive team this Kansas City club is today. The way they've stopped them so far. Second down, 10. And that's knocked away by Kearney. A flag is down. Interference call on Kearney against Billy Cannon. Kearney hooking him over the shoulder.
Once again, Curt, what a great rush, though. LaMonica is being hit. He's hit more here than I'm sure he has been hit all year put together.
Was it coming in on the underside, but Brown was the man to get in there and knock him out of the pocket.
Bob Sweet just cannot contain Aaron Brown this afternoon. Aaron has just been spectacular. Charging, pushing, moving all the time. Just collapses the pocket. LaMonica's had a very tough day.
And the pass rush of Kansas City has been the story today. Harassing LaMonica. He's had a throw under the gun. He's been intercepted 3 times here in this fourth period. Now the line of scrimmage, their own 25, second and 21. But out, he's hit again by 2 men. He jumps it off. The Banasac. LaMonica again was knocked down by Curt and Mays as he let the ball go. Banasac is stopped on his 36-yard line. The play goes for 11 and 3rd and 10 now. 3.5 minutes to go, and Kansas City's leading 17-7. Willie Mitchell's dropping way back to the safety man. He's determined nothing wrong is going over him. No good. Tough catch that shoestring. Attempt by Wells. 4th and 10 for Oakland on their 36. Here's LaMonica coming off. Oakland lost just 1 game this year. They've had the best record of any team in pro football the last 3 years, losing only 4 games in the last 3 years, but they're up against it now. And they're putting Eyeshide back in a punt formation with Garrett and Mitchell deep. 3 minutes and 5 seconds to play. Look out. He gets it away. bounce for him. And it is dead on the 8-yard line. All right, Shy, timeout. Action will continue in the AFL Championship game with a score, Kansas City 17 and Oakland 7. Kansas City's ball on their 8-yard line. They'll try and protect their 10-point lead now with 2 minutes and 52 seconds to play. Mike Garrett, Wendell Hayes. Now they're in that, Urbanus at tight end. They're in that old model T formation. It stops at the 10-yard line. It'll be a gain of 2. We had Darryl LaMonica named the most valuable player in Writers and Broadcasters poll. The coaches, 10 head coaches voted in the league, named Joe Namath as the player of the year, and he received a Barracuda Plymouth Coupe. So both men were honored this year, the two quarterbacks, LaMonica and Namath. On the 10-yard line, second down, 8 to go. Kansas City ahead. Tied at the half, 7-all. Look out! Trying to hand it to Hayes, and Oakland has it. Well, that's the real turnaround here. Ike Lassiter in there, and Oakland has now recovered 3 fumbles deep in Kansas City territory. The last 2, they were intercepted. Let's see what they do with this drive. They're on the 13-yard line with a first down.
I know there was some discussion up here as to whether Oakland should have punted on that last situation with less than 3 minutes remaining, but the way it's turned out to their advantage.
The 2-minute warning now is being given. LaMonica will come to the sideline to talk to his coach. Action. Oakland's ball on the Kansas City 13-yard line. Kansas City's fumbled 3 times in the 4th period, deep in their own territory. Oakland hasn't been able to cash in, though. LaMonica goes to Wells, and it is out of bounds. Emmett Thomas grabbed it, but is out of bounds with it. Emmett Thomas has intercepted a pass today and led the league in interceptions during the season.
You know, most offensive receivers will instinctively put both feet down real quick and do a little quick tattoo step. This being a defensive player, of course, you're not as aware usually of going into that sideline.
Second down, 10 to go for Oakland. 10 points behind with only a minute 55 to play. Cannon to the left here in the slot right. Can't get it. He ran the slant pattern under the goalpost with Willie Mitchell and Emmett Thomas double teaming him. I want to thank Bruce Rice and Dick Smith for their help today. Ted Reinhold, our stage manager Bob Osberg. That is Hank Stram, the Kansas City coach, watching the clock like the rest of us.
Oakland and LaMonica have just not been firing that football like we know he can. He has not gone to number 25, Bolitnikoff, although Fred has been in a one-on-one situation with Marcellus most of the afternoon.
3rd and 10. And Willie Mitchell nearly intercepted. The pass intended for the tight end Billy Cannon, number 33. Here's Oakland's last chance, probably. 4th and 10 with a minute 46. If we want to, this is the last game as we know it in the American Football League. 10 years. Probably one of the most interesting sports stories of all time. That we'll talk about here in just a minute. We want to thank everyone for all their help, the coaches, the staff, the front offices of the teams who have cooperated so highly with us at NBC. 4th and 10. Him again. 87 Aaron Brown pounced on him and brought him down, and again Kansas City has stopped Oakland. This time Kansas City will take over on their own 20. Boy, what a game. That Aaron Brown, 265-pound tight end. They had him at linebacker's end, moved him around. Hank Stram shook his hand. Finally boy, they set him at defensive right in last year, and he started to come about the middle of the year and really developed. He's been the man today with that tough front four, but he has been the man in on LaMonica. And now with 1 minute and 20 seconds to go, Kansas City will try and freeze it away. Oakland had their chances but couldn't convert. Wendell Hayes is running straight ahead to his 22 or 23-yard line. Oakland now is asking for time. They haven't called time yet. There's 1 minute to go. The clock's still moving. And a disappointed Oakland crowd starting to file out here. Seconds to play. Kansas City and the Vikings for the world title. Wendell Hayes again. And now they have called time and stopped the clock with 32 seconds to go. I wanted to just say this, that this league that started with millions of doubters and then scoffed at and ridiculed in the first 2 or 3 years is winding up its last game today. It made it, and it made it big. Next year, there'll be a new setup in pro football as the final move of the merger takes place. The Baltimore Colts, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Cleveland Browns will come over and join the AFL teams in the Eastern Conference. The remaining NFL teams will play in the Western Conference. There'll be an American Conference and National Conference, but this is the last game of the American Football League. And it's been great satisfaction to watch the underdog develop along. Here's Mike Garrett. To the 30. Again, Oakland dashes in, stops the clock, but 24 seconds to go. Oakland has one timeout left.
I guess it's a great tribute to Hank Stram, the winningest coach in the American Football League, going against the Oakland Raiders, who obviously have the second best record. Their series are 10-10 up to this point. They both have been in the Super Bowls, and now Hank, who has such a successful career, will bring the Kansas City Chiefs in against the Minnesota Vikings.
Still give the Oakland. Here's Stram already being hoisted. Gerald Wilson in punt formation. It is out of bounds. Hank Stram up on Dave Hill's shoulders, number 73. I want to thank our sponsors who made all this possible. Chrysler Corporation, who's been with us all the way. Phillips 66. Many of the sponsors along the line this year are sending these games to wherever you're looking. John Madden. Disappointed, of course. Charlie Smith. Popped from behind by Curly Culp, number 61. Culp was a big key for this Kansas City team this year. And there he is, the winning the champion coach for the AFL. The game is over, and Kansas City, when I say a mild upset, they were underdogs by 4 or 5. In 3 games, 3 really tough games. Oakland won the 2 in the regular season, but Kansas City wins the big one. And now, next Sunday in the Super Bowl, with a $25,000 per share game at stake for each player, it'll be Kansas City against Minnesota. 2 very physical teams. 2 very physical teams will meet next Sunday, and let's get some quick closing comments here. First by Kyle Roach.
Well, I'm sure, as you point out, next week 2 very powerful teams will be meeting. Minnesota Vikings, Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm sure Minnesota playing on the frozen field in Minnesota have a few bruises that we're not familiar with, too, and I'm sure it'll be a great ball game. What a great job the Kansas City defensive unit did, holding on until their offense got on track today.
And L.D. Rogatis.
team that led in the turnovers, the team that had the greatest number of interceptions, the greatest number of fumbles, did it with a super defense, and a great tribute, Curt, to that sensational 98-yard drive, the great catch by Otis Taylor on the far side.
Here's the Kansas City locker room, and this is Curt Gowdy on behalf of us here in the NBC booth. Thanks for looking in today and during the season. We're going to switch you down to the locker. There's Johnny Robinson holding his injured rib.
They were a very fine, explosive offensive team, and their defense was probably second to ours in the AFL. It's always enjoyable to play against a good team, of which they are. They have great personnel, and they hustle well and great ability, and so we had no problem getting up for this game, of course. And fortunately, I had the opportunity to play in 3 championship games as a member of the Chiefs organization, and we won all 3. And today, I think the outcome of the game speaks for itself. There was no denying us. Our defense did a tremendous job.
In the past, we've had individuals. Sometimes Jerry would have a good day. He'd be coming on one play. The next play, I'd be coming. A different time, say Curly Colt would be coming and no one else. Today, almost all afternoon, all 4 of us were coming, and just a matter they couldn't block all of us, and I was lucky enough to get through with the time.